What's going on, Brock?
What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Got you a little gift here.
Oh, nice.
I didn't want to come empty-handed.
All right, let's see what it is.
The instructions are in there because you have to wash it a certain way.
Oh, okay.
And dry it a certain way, but
all right, let's show everybody.
figured you represent the roots and
holy moly.
there you go.
Holy.
little Puerto Rico wrestling right there for you.
Oh, wow. This is sweet.
I like the material on it too. I was surprised.
So hopefully I'm not too fat for it.
It's a large.
Oh, okay. That works.
Well, little room to wiggle.
Well, thank you so much. And
Yeah,
you said
definitely.
this is the
On the back, I think it
Okay.
has like the instructions and stuff. Yeah.
oh, sweet, man.
Because they say like you need
Appreciate
to
it.
wash it inside out. I'm assuming so the logo doesn't come off.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep that away from my brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They'll steal it.
yeah. And that's how we do it anyways.
A couple of when I told you before when I moved out, when I went into the Marine Corps, I call them my brothers. I grew up with them. They all came to my house and stole all my wrestling stuff. So I still see them in wrestling sweatpants and sweatshirts. And
Your stuff.
all my gear. Gone forever. So
That's typically how me and my brothers do it.
yeah.
They'll come and visit, and something will come up missing.
I try to. Every time I go, I try to find the stuff. It's like they hide it when I come back. They know.
Nice. I guess it's not an Otero thing. It's
No, it's definitely everywhere. I feel like.
so Brock.
Yes, sir.
Know that I'm extremely thankful that you were part of the R9s.
Oh
You
man.
joined the IK family. Is what I call.
Yeah.
I think it's been a very, very nice ride
Oh,
with
definitely.
you on board. So
Definitely.
So tons of thanks.
Hey,
I think the coaches are excited, the athletes are excited,
Yeah.
and the parents are excited.
Yeah.
so
Definitely built some really good relationships while I've been here, and I absolutely am extremely blessed and thankful that you guys have given me the opportunities that you have, and the relationships that you've given me, and I love the kids, I love the families, I love the coaches. I mean,
it's hard to beat.
It's
hard to beat,
extreme-
huh?
It's extremely hard to beat. It's. I was thinking about it the other day, and it's just there's no other. If I were to pick like a program that I wanted to be a part of and like coach for, it's Iron Knights. It's everything you guys represent. You know what I mean? It's not one of those clubs that and there's nothing wrong with the clubs that, hey, have your kids come in and learn self-defense, or have your kids come in and have fun and just do this and that. Like you guys compete. You guys compete.
Yeah.
You guys go out there ready to strike and ready to win. You want to build champions, on the mat and in life, and that's, you can't ask for a better program to be a part of, than one that offers that, and just how accepting and just the willingness to learn from like the parents too. Like it's just been outstanding. Like it's absolutely phenomenal. And there's no pushback. There's everybody is hungry for knowledge,
and respectful.
and respectful too.
Yes.
So respectful of your space and letting you do what you need to do. You know what I mean? Like it's words can't express how lucky I am to be a part of the Iron Knights family.
Yeah, excellent.
Definitely.
So is this your first coaching job?
Yeah, definitely. I just it was by just luck running into Shane and Colton, and luckily they were wearing an Iron Knights wrestling shirt, and got talking about it and exchanged numbers, and I met you, and it started off slow because I was a little nervous. I didn't know how you guys ran practice and how things were and what was needed from me in a sense, you know, and but it happened quick, it happened really quick, and like I said, you guys are so accepting and ready to work.
So you're saying that we skipped the honeymoon stage?
Yeah. Skipped the honeymoon stage, got right into the action. So
that's funny.
and it's been phenomenal. It's been a great ride, and
You want to tell us how it happened? Yeah, you were at Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yeah. I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings. Got Shane and Colton at the table, and I come up and introduce myself and stuff, and notice they have a wrestling shirt on. I obviously, if you have cauliflower ear, you're wearing any type of wrestling gear, I'm gonna strike a conversation with you about it. And just so happened that, you know, Shane was telling me Colton was leaving soon, and you guys are always looking for help and coaches that know the sport and this and that, and we exchanged information, and I guess he got in contact with you, and yeah, he told me to stop by into Grit, and I did. Shout out to Grit Fitness.
Yes.
Wilmore Rudolph Boulevard, Clarksville, Tennessee. Very thankful for them as well.
Yes,
awesome.
Definitely.
Fantastic, right? I mean, anytime, you know, put the mats down, let's go. So, but yeah, back on topic, showed up to practice, felt it out, you know, and worked with the kids a little bit. And then it started to get more, you know, hey, you know, do you want to show some technique, you know? And then, hey, so-and-so's not going to be able to make it. You want to run practice, you know? And then you and I started communicating a lot more and, you know, setting up one-on-ones and, hey, we want to do camps and doing all this and just having the parents react to that in such a positive way was just mind-blowing. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, it was all on your word. It was all on Shane's word.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you guys backed me and believed me, and I appreciate it. I really do. I'm very thankful. And yeah, now we're here. Now we're here.
I would say your first true exposure of Daniel Otero was when we took on Clarksville Academy when they needed that desperate help.
Yeah.
I think that's when you really got to know Daniel.
Yep, definitely. You know, you that whole story. You know, we had a long conversation about what was going on there, and took the kids in and got some work, and it was really cool because I actually got to go and coach some of those kids at the the tournament in Cooksville? Was it Cooksville? What was it? I can't.
Was it freestyle or
no? It was folk style. It was started with a B. Why can't I think of it? I can't remember. Either way.
Yeah.
Either way. But yeah, that was you let me know what you know what you were about and what needed to happen and it's just
so we'll get into your actual wrestling career.
Yeah, okay.
But has it done something for you? Coaching.
Has coaching done something?
What has it done for you?
Oh my goodness. It's just a lifestyle change. Like it gave me time to think about what my priorities are in life. And, you know, I have a son on the way. I have a 7-year-old daughter.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Extremely excited. Beautiful wife, supporting, you know what I mean? She's phenomenal. And I needed to, I can't be out on the mat preaching stuff to these kids and how to be a good human being and a decent human being and, you know, taking the sport seriously and working your hardest and doing this if I'm not putting in the work, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's really, 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 I mean, I'm working out now.
Nice.
I'm like, we're getting ready for this open tournament, June 4th. First time on a mat in 13 years. And we're putting in the work. You know what I mean? Like I feel it back. I feel the fire that has been burning inside for so long. Like it's starting to come out.
Yeah. I do notice you look more slim.
Thank you.
I noticed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so what weight class are you wrestling?
I'm currently talking 190, but depending on where I'm at the end of this week, that's where I'm either going to drop to 75 or stay at 190.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see. I mean, the weight cut from I was at 203 or 204.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was the booze, man. it was the booze.
Oh, nice.
Cut that out. And I'm still not eating correctly. It's kind of hard when my wife is constantly making me delicious food.
That's because she loves you.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, just work out harder." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's how it works."
Hey, you mentioned something about working hard as a
sir.
coach, and to me, it's important that the athletes, Devin, my child,
Yeah.
sees that we work hard.
Yeah. Fantastic athlete, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
Son.
I'll let him know that
Yeah.
you said that.
Yeah, he knows. I let him know all the time.
But no, the work ethic. We demand so much from our athletes, and I'm sure that when you saw us coaching in our room, you saw that we demand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of demand on the workload, especially working hard as hell.
Well, exactly.
So you mentioned that you're working hard yourself, and it's important that our athletes sees our coaches working hard.
Yes, sir.
Because if we're going to demand, XYZ from them, we got to walk it as well.
Well, yeah.
So that's excellent. So that's part, and that's the whole thing. As I look around and Shanny's always full of ideas. Shanny's
That
always
guy.
like, "Hey, I spoke to so and so. I was like, yeah, get him in. Let's see what's up." But not everybody can make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can tell right away, their work ethic, their commitment level, their dedication. Because a lot of people were like, "Yeah, I'll come in."
Yeah.
Like the one guy that came in with our Clarksville Academy sessions.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Don't have it. Don't have it. And you have an understanding that, yeah, people have lives and people have jobs and people have stuff like that. If I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there unless there's this huge emergency. If I'm, like.
And that's always the case, though.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it becomes a pattern, it's like, there we go.
Yep.
Next.
Yep.
So
exactly.
No, that's
and
good.
I respect that from you guys as well. You know what I mean? There's no time for games. There's no time for, if you can't give your all to it, that's fine. But that we don't need it, And we, like you said, we demand a lot out of our kids. We demand a lot out of our wrestlers. And I made a post about this on our page a while ago, and we're not demanding all this stuff just to put it out there. You know what I mean? Like I know how far you can push yourself, and I know how far I can push myself, and we know that if we're getting on you, it's because you're not putting in that work that we know you're capable of putting in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're not doing what you need to be doing when no one's looking.
I like that.
My dad used to tell me that. He's like, a sign of character is what you're doing when no one's watching. A sign of good character is what you're doing when no one's watching. And it's true, and I try to instill that in the kids while we're at practice. While I'm walking away, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder, and you're supposed to be doing push-ups, and you got your butt in the air, your knees on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, we're watching you. I'm going to let you know. Because take the long way home. That's it.
Yeah, see, and that's super important in real life, at the workplace.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of times they just don't have time to babysit you.
No.
So it's what you're doing when nobody's looking. You get a task, and they're gonna walk away.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that time?
Exactly.
So like you're saying, it's not only at practice, but we know it's gonna translate outside the mats.
Yeah.
And that's what we're building here.
Yep.
Good, strong, respectful human beings.
And that's what a youth program needs to be. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a time in these kids' wrestling careers where things aren't necessarily. It's just going to be expected that you know how to work in the room. That you know what you need to be doing when you're not in the room and you're at home, or you're off and there's no practice, or right now we're kind of instilling that in them of even though there's not practice, we still, you know, you're at a camp right now on a Saturday or Sunday. All your friends are goofing off, you know, playing laser tag, doing whatever they're doing, and you decide to come here and put work in. And that's what it takes to win those big matches, to win those tournaments. You know what I mean? And to be successful in anything is putting that extra work in that other people aren't doing. And that's what I love about our kids, you know, and their parents. Our parents are bringing them. You know,
they're game.
They're total take them. Yeah. So
you know, it's funny how addicted their parents have become to what we're doing.
And, I mean, look, we have what, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 dads that are coaches, never wrestled before in their life, that have started practicing, that are going to wrestle in this tournament on June 4th with us.
How beautiful.
Like, that's amazing. And that's the one thing when I was talking to these guys and I was like, hey, you know, I know it sounds like a bad idea. I know you've never competed before. I know you've never practiced with, like, actually, you know what I mean, got into it. I said, watch this. And I look at, I'm talking to Jose Mora. I look at Jacob Moore and I go, Jacob, guess what? He's like, what? I said, you know that tournament I'm wrestling in on June 4th that you're wrestling in? He's like, yeah. I was like, your daddy's wrestling in it too. And his face just, poof. You know what I mean? Like, it's giving me chills right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's such an awesome thing. Like, Jacob's going to be able to watch his dad wrestle, you know? Yeah. And the guy who's on him all the time, like, you know, like, and Jacob's probably like, oh, you don't know what you're talking, you know?
That's a cool thing, because, like, somebody needs to capture on, with his photo, video.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob coaching his dad.
Well, and that's what I was talking about too, because Shane has been, of course, like, oh yeah, me and Daniel will coach you guys and stuff. I've been thinking about it, man. Like, we've been coaching these kids. We've been on them, you know. Let them sit the corner. Let the kids coach us. You know what I mean? Like, it's fun. It's fun. As hard as it is for me to compete in a fun way, you know, and try to think of this tournament as a fun way. It's tough because every time I've competed, it's been to win. You know what I mean? It's been to go out and hypothetically kill. You know what I mean? Like, I'm there to eat. Yeah. And but I tell you what, the preparation for it, the mental preparation for it, and like talking to myself and, hey, this is a good time. You know what I mean? This is good for the kids. This is, you know, I have no nerves. I'm usually nervous building up to competition. You know what I mean? And I feel nothing. I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about anything. I'm not good. You know, and I think it's also because I'm you know, when we're in the room, we're working hard. You know, like Jose and I after practice, we stayed another 20, 30 minutes and we're just beating the crap out of each other. Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. On one slither of mat, you know, and the kids were watching us put in the work, and that was important for them to see too. Like, hey, practice is over. We're getting a couple more rounds in, you know? So.
Well, that's beautiful. I mean, so just overall, the sport of wrestling is extremely beautiful.
Oh, man.
How beautiful is it? I mean, not only that, it's probably the oldest sport on earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
so how does that feel? To be able to, whether you're at Buffalo Wild Wings or conversations at Christmas, you know, parties, how good does that feel to say that you're part of that? It's the oldest sport on earth.
It's awesome, you know, and it's even people that have never wrestled before or, you know, don't know much about the sport. I mean, you mentioned that you were a wrestler, and they're like, oh man, they're interested in it. They want to hear about it. You know, it's just the work that goes into it. You know, to be successful, it just teaches life lessons that stick with you forever. You know what I mean? There's and it creates a bond as well. You know, like I said, it was in the Marine Corps, so you have that brotherhood, right? And you know, that's something that'll follow me for the rest of my life. The two things that'll follow me for the rest of my life is wrestling and the Marine Corps. You know, when I meet a wrestler, guess what? Instant conversation, instant hanging out, talking. You know, same thing when I meet another Marine. That it's the same type of brotherhood. It's a small world too. Yeah. It's so small. I ran into we went to Freestyle and Greco. The Ironman tournament, and I ran into one of the coaches, college coaches that was recruiting me. that actually went and visited, and
Small world, huh?
it's super small. And now his kid, he's talking about bringing his kid the hour drive to work with the Iron Knights.
Oh, that must happen.
So
That must happen.
It's just it's so crazy. It's like a full circle, you know.
Maybe they should come down to the camp though, June 12th. Then.
Yeah, I was talking to him. I'm trying to get him going because they're looking to put his kid with some quality, partners, and we got him.
We got him. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we talk about how beautiful the sport of wrestling is, and you mentioned hard stuff is stuff that you carry with you, like the Marines, wrestling. Why is wrestling not mainstream? What's your take? Where do we go wrong as the wrestling community where wrestling's not mainstream like football, baseball, basketball? This, like you say, it's to wrestle is not an easy task. So there's it's hard as heck, right?
Listen, you're asking me a question. You're answering it. You're answering it right now. So, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And it's not like that. And with wrestling, what do we have? You get out of college, what do you have? Olympics, UFC, you know what I mean? And that's not a big doorway. A very select few make that. You know what I mean?
But at least there's something where before there was absolutely nothing except for the Olympics, of course.
Exactly. It's another thing. Most wrestlers we're humble. We do it for the glory. You know what I mean? Like as cliche as that sounds and cheesy as that sounds, that's what it is, man. There's nothing better. It's just you out there. You know what I mean? The work that you put in will give you the end result. So if I don't work hard, I'm not going to get a positive end result. If I bust my butt as hard as I possibly can and give it my all and know that I leave it all out there, you know what I mean? When I get my hand raised, it's that much better. We don't get it's out there. I mean,
but my question is, how come it's not a mainstream sport like football, like basketball and baseball? Where have we gone wrong? I think in the wrestling community, or
it starts at the youth. I think it starts at the youth level. I think maybe introducing more youth clubs, accessible youth clubs that can be out there, because you got to think kids get 5 years old, they're hitting T-balls off the T-ball. You know what I mean? They're playing Pop Warner football or flag football.
Plus the TV, you turn the TV on.
Turn the TV
on. That's where I'm
there.
getting at.
Yeah.
If it's not being promoted through the TVs, through what the kids, they watch cartoons, TV. It's
the only time they're getting wrestling on the TV is the NCAA championships, and if they stay up late enough to watch Olympic wrestling when the Olympics come on. You know what I mean?
Which, by the way, is there a wrestler that you're excited over?
I'm upset that Jordan Oliver did not make it because I was extremely excited for him. I'm excited for Kyle Dake, definitely. And I'm excited for John Stefanowicz, fellow Marine.
Nice.
Greco-Roman Olympian. And we wrestled. He would be on like Team Mawa, which was basically, PA guys that they put together an all-star team. And so we met each other throughout our wrestling careers and stuff, and ended up going to boot camp at the same exact time and graduating boot camp together and stuff. And so it's really great to see how far he's come too, from like wrestling in high school. I don't even know if he qualified for states, in high school, and now he's an Olympian. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I was telling Shane about that.
Yeah. Hard work pays off, man. Hard work pays off, you know, and getting beat down pays off. You can't, it's true. It's true. There are many a times I try to talk to our kids about this at practice, and they'll be getting upset on themselves because they just keep getting taken down, or, they're getting beat up on top or whatever. It happens, man. That's how you get good. You learn from losing. It sucks. Yeah. It's horrible. Losing is horrible, especially, going back to what I was saying, you're the only one on the mat. You're putting in the work. So if you lose, it's that much worse. You know, there's no one else to put the blame on except yourself. So, yeah, it's just hard work will get you there, and not quitting, and keep pushing forward. And John's a perfect example of that. So
Yeah, see, and Jordan Burroughs said that roughly 90% of the athletes that go to the Olympics, that make the Olympics and travel in the Olympics, they don't expect to hit the podium. Like they're just happy that they made it that far.
yeah, I mean, being an Olympian is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so they're just satisfied. So this is where I'm getting at. I've seen that where there's athletes that are just satisfied to just make it a state.
Yeah.
Yeah, then once they make it to state, they're not as hungry. They're not trying to eat like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do we fix that? How do we reshape? I'm sure in the wrestling room. It starts in the wrestling room.
Yeah.
But let's just say that there's kids out there that are not in our wrestling room, or they don't have a room with that type of culture. Mm-hmm. How do they fix that?
Come to Iron Knights. We'll get you right. No, parenting.
But you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's tough, man, because I can't make you.
What about this? What has kept Brock hungry throughout his high school career and going into your college? What kept you hungry?
I loved winning. I hated losing. I knew what my potential was. My potential was, blasted on me, from my dad. You know what I mean? Like, it was. I don't know. That's a very, very tough question. What kept me hungry? What kept me hungry? Winning. I know it's a simple answer, but it's not. I hated letting myself down. I felt like when I lost, I was letting, my dad down, my family down, my friends down. It was embarrassing for some reason to me. It was really, really horrible. Like, I didn't even want to talk about it. My junior year, I lost the state finals to a guy that I beat the crap out of all season. I think I wrestled him 4 times. It was techs and pins. We get to the state finals, and I think he beat me 4-3, and it was devastating. I didn't even want to talk about it. I was going through storage yesterday. I found the medal from that year, and I didn't even know I still had it until I saw it the other day. You know what I mean? Like, it was unacceptable, and that's what drove me. And back then, so you had like DE preps, it was Delaware preps, and I think they still have it. I think they have other preps too now. It was just a web page that people would message on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people would get on there and talk crap, and that was motivating too. You know what I mean? Doubters, obviously, for anybody should be motivating. You want to prove everybody wrong.
That's such a different upbringing. Your story compared to mine, where there was no internet when I was coming up. Mm-hmm. So there's no reading comments. There's no trash talking across whatever platform.
Yeah.
So
and that's why there was different breeds of wrestlers when you were coming up. You know what I mean? That's why you had the the Lincoln McElravies, the Brands brothers, and those dudes were always hungry. They were going out and murdering people. They were heavy hands, just attack. They wanted to win. It was like a self-motivation in a sense. They didn't have these outside things coming in that would get the spark going.
So obviously, it's perfect that you're here, because that's the world we live in today.
Yeah.
There's different platforms where people can hide behind a phone and talk crap, or behind a keyboard and talk crap.
Yep.
So what's your message about social media? How do these athletes, how should they approach or handle social media? And that reading the comments, talking crap? What's your message to them?
Disable the comments, I guess. You know, like
No, do you think it's healthy for them to read comments? Can they use that as fuel, or is that something that?
Unfortunately, with this, you know, the generations to come and this generation, you know, that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. For some reason, everybody's hurt by words now. Maybe
That's funny, yeah.
maybe don't read the comments. Turn the comments off. You know what I mean? Unless you got tough skin, because no matter what you do, how great it is, how great of a person you are, how many great things you do for the sport or for anybody in any walk of life or whatever you do, there's always going to be those people that have something negative to say about it. Always, you know? And for me, it wasn't like, I wasn't upset that people were, you know, talking crap or saying I can't do this or that. It didn't upset me at all. It just,
it was fuel.
It turned it into fuel. You know, I didn't get down on myself like, oh, maybe they're right. You know, when you start feeling bad about it, that's when you actually need to take a step back and look inside yourself and be like, no, wait, am I really, maybe I'm not doing something correct here, you know? And then you make that adjustment, you know? And then when you see that comment again, it's not going to matter because you know what you're doing is right. You know, like they're just wrong. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe they're, you know, upset about something that's going on in their life. And that's why they're saying this stuff. But we need to toughen these kids up. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, the way bullying is, and I mean, we could go into that forever, but yeah, I mean, internet trolls are, it's just, that's what they are, you know, and there's no way to stop it, like I said, unless you literally, you know, turn off comments or don't read the comments, you know what I mean?
So, so I was asking about wrestling not being a mainstream sport.
Yeah.
So the Olympics will be held in Japan, in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So Japan having such a strong history of comeback sports, right?
Definitely.
Do you hope or do you think that wrestling will be more glorified in this Olympics, specifically because of their Japan's background in comeback sports?
Well, you would hope it would be worldwide. I think that in Tokyo and in Japan, and it's definitely going to be a huge deal. Like I said, man, watching wrestling is not easily accessible. You know what I mean? You do have these streaming services. You have Flow Wrestling, right? But guess what? You got to pay for it.
But not just that, though. If you're not within the sport already, then you will know about Flow Wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not been advertised in between commercials of football games.
Yeah,
or anything
yeah.
like that.
I'm sure if you ask some of the newer kids on our team and their parents, if they know about Flow Wrestling, they won't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And that's true. You know, there's no push, there's no advertising for it. There's no, which blows my mind with how big combat sports have become, especially with the UFC and Bellator and Pride and all that stuff. You would think that there would be a boost in the exposure of wrestling, considering it's a feeder for these plays. I mean, most of the time, you look at all the top, you know, fighters, the championship fighters and stuff. They have wrestling backgrounds. You know, Randy Couture. I mean, even Chuck Liddell wrestle. You know what I mean? All these Tito Ortiz.
Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the best ever.
29-0?
Is
Wrestler.
Is Khabib the best ever? Is he the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? I love bringing up GOAT conversations.
So if you're talking numbers and being undefeated and stuff, yes. And dominating, yes. He would be the GOAT. When I look at the GOATs, I think it just the work put in. I think of the, like, in the octagon and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the fights, the battles, the biggest thing I push is, like, with my coaching, is not quitting on yourself, you know, and not giving up. And there's some dudes out there that you could hit them with a cinder block and they're going to keep coming forward. You know what I mean? And
so who's your GOAT?
My GOAT fighter? I'll tell you what. There's someone coming that is a really good friend of mine.
Oh, snap.
And like wrestle together, you know.
He can throw some hands. He can strike.
Yeah, he's a current Cage Fury champion. He's gonna do some. I think he's gonna do some damage. That's Jamel Jones. But as of now in the UFC, GOAT.
I mean, Khabib is hard.
Khabib's hard because Khabib's hard. You know, like he's so dominant.
Has anybody gone the distance with him?
What I think. I mean, not anytime. Not anytime recently. Yeah. No. I'm trying to think. I thought there was someone that actually. I mean, not close to beating him, but went the distance with him a little bit. I don't know.
See, we're talking about going the distance. That's when you know this dude is badass.
Yeah, I mean, he's
badass.
He takes you down and ties those legs up. There's no, you're not getting out of that. So.
Yeah, he's my goat.
Yeah. He has to be the goat. Yeah, I guess that's.
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah.
So I mean, and he's humble. He's a good dude.
And that's the whole thing.
There's no scandals with him or anything.
He's such a good dude.
In the argument, you throw in John Jones, you know, but. And I'm big on like letting go, you know, moving on from tainted past.
John Jones, like I scored a fight that to me he lost.
Oh yeah,
where that guy that broke his MCL or his ACL. You remember that one fight?
I think it was his last fight. What? No, it was Dom Reyes. Wasn't Dominic Reyes?
I can't remember this guy, but he was probably Brazilian, and I believe he broke his ACL, like on the first or second round. He was giving it to John Jones.
There's been a couple questionable ones where
on one leg, basically he won.
He's taking him out.
Yeah, he won. But John Jones definitely, and Silva too.
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, he was forever.
George St. Pierre.
Oh yeah, big
George St. Pierre.
You talking about working hard, you know, like work ethic.
The dude looks the same now. I follow him on Instagram. He looks the same now as he did back in the day. He's just ripped. I think he just turned he turned 40 or 50 or something. Just had his birthday the other day, and he's like, just still super fit. Still puts in the work, you know. But yeah, and that's the thing too. Like wrestling gives you a longevity to your life almost. Like I said, 13 years since I stepped on the mat. I haven't really wrestled, practiced, anything like that in 13 years, you know what I mean? Until recently.
Oh, wow.
When I started rolling with the bigger kids at practice. I still got it. You know what I mean? Like it's still there, you know what I mean? And it's only getting better.
It's like riding a bike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I was telling Devin. I want to get back in as well. Yeah. And I was telling Devin that
lace him up, let's do it.
In the last camp, when I got on the mats finally, I felt so weird. I feel like I didn't belong. Like honestly, I felt out of place, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is disgusting." I was really upset with myself.
Yeah.
But like 10 minutes later, I was like, "Okay." It starts coming back slowly, you know, and obviously your body doesn't react as good as your brain. Like my brain's like, "Shoot now."
Yeah.
My body's like,
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like when you put your lawnmower up for the winter time and then you take it out. You know, when it's springtime, you go to cut the grass. You gotta, pull it a couple times so that it gets going. And that's what's happened with me. I mean, my legs were just so fatigued and my breathing was horrible. And then after, you know, I had COVID pretty bad last year, and so just trying to clear all that out and everything. And I mean, even this past Friday, I felt so much better. I felt so much better, you know, especially cutting the toxins out of my body and that I was putting in. And you know, I tell the kids that, you know, your body's a machine and it needs fuel and it needs the correct fuel. You know what I mean? And so just doing that, preaching, you know, practicing what I preach finally. You know, to a sense. So.
Good. You look much smaller. I can see that you're getting in shape. Yeah, that's awesome. So talking about fueling up for matches, your day-to-day training, basically. Back in your days,
okay,
did you have a to-do list of food after weigh-ins? And this doesn't have to be healthy. This could be like you were just like, man, okay. I can't wait.
Are we talking about after tournament, or are we talking after weigh-ins, pre-competing?
Let's hit both. Let's talk about tournament, because the different strategy there. Yeah. Tournament eating versus
You're gonna eat like a piece of crap after a tournament. You know what I mean? You know, you cut your weight and stuff. Your wrestling's done. You know, maybe you got the next day off until Monday comes and you practice again. You get back into it. So carbs were big. So after weighing in, no, you know, everybody goes to the concession stands grabbing burgers, you know, nachos, whatever. Finally, I can eat, you know. Pasta for me. It was pasta with olive oil, a little salt and pepper, olive oil instead of butter, because butter sticks, you know, and it doesn't digest as fast as olive oil does. And I can burn the carbs off. The carbs are energy. You know what I mean? If I'm eating protein, if I'm eating burgers or you know, cheese and dairy and stuff like that, the protein's gonna weigh me down. I'm gonna feel sluggish on the mat. You know, and you know, eating carbs, fruit, stuff like that, little sugars, honey, it was just a lot better for me. I felt, and it was true, because I mean, of course there would be times where it'd be a slip up, you know, and maybe I'd have a longer wait period from the time I weighed in to the time I would wrestle, and I wouldn't be thinking, and I'd eat something that I shouldn't have ate. I'll feel it when I'm on the mat. Even when I start warming up, I'm like, oof, you know, like it doesn't feel right. But I mean, after competition, it was on. I mean, it was wherever we were stopping on the way home, you know, Fridays.
So what okay, there you go. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear some fun stuff. So what was your favorite go-to place?
Well, my favorite go-to place,
when you know you can just let loose and go to town or something.
I gotta think. Let's Grotto's Pizza. Grotto's Pizza is a pizza place back home in Delaware. And they would have, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, they would have all-you-could-eat pizza. And so they'd make this whole table, and they'd have different pies. They'd have, like, the Blanco pie, so it was, like, all white, no red sauce. They'd have, like, meat lovers. They have all this stuff. And, yeah, you just go and smash it down. So that's definitely a go-to back home, was Grotto's or Al Casapolo's. I love broccoli cheese bites. They're like fried balls of broccoli and cheddar cheese.
Oh, nice. That sounds delicious.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, my life was pretty strict growing up as far as like getting ready and you know, the normal stuff. My mom would make lasagna, spaghetti.
What about college, where mom and dad wasn't really around, and how was like, for example, like at UT Chattanooga, Hooters. Yeah. At the time, they had this they had like almost like on like happy hour, you can get 10-cent wings.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember 10-cent wings at Hooters. Yeah,
and obviously that was like years ago, right?
Yeah.
I remember, you know, and back in our days, sometimes it's 48 hours. You weigh in, and then you won't compete for another 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you could really go crazy.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So our go-to was Hooters. You know, we would go get 10 cents wings.
So for the short time that I was at Newberry College, there was this little place right down the street from our dorms. It looked like a house. And this guy would open up. It was like, I think one day a week he would open up. But he had like, it almost was like a bar setting, right? You sit at the bar and he would make burgers. And it was the best burgers ever, up until this time. It was just this old dude, I feel like, in his house that just made his living room into like this restaurant type thing. And he made the best burgers. So that was the go-to there. And then when I went to Bloomsburg, we had two places. I want to say it was called like the Wolf Cafe or something like that. I can't remember, but they sold buffalo. It was late night too, so it could be like 3 a.m, and you could go there and get it. But they buffalo chicken pizza. That was absolutely ridiculous. So I'd go there and veg out on that, and then I'd go to the other cafe and get gyros because I love gyros.
So you would hit every place after weigh-ins.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I love to eat. I really do. I love to cook. That's why.
That's right. You're a chef.
Yeah. After I left the Marine Corps, I went to Le Cordon Bleu in California, and graduated from there. And then I did some private chef gigs when I lived in Los Angeles. And
is that something you would like to return at some point?
Yeah, to an extent. It would have if I were to go back and work in a restaurant or something like that. One, the money would have to be right, obviously, and I would like the creative freedoms and stuff like that. But I mean, my wife and I, it's constant in our house. We have all the cooking appliances, everything you could need to cook. I mean, she cooks.
She cooks well.
Oh man, she cooks amazing. She bakes. She like ridiculous the stuff that she comes up with. So, and we've been in the talks now about kind of once we get settled in where we're gonna go, having a little spot of our own and
nice,
getting down into
nice.
something to leave the kids. So
sweet, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So back to nutrition, since we're talking about food. So the importance of nutrition education for these athletes, more specifically wrestlers. So what's and I know you kind of covered a little bit of it.
Yeah.
When they go to tournaments, what do you recommend? What should be in their lunchbox on long days, long tournaments?
I want to say first that I understand, as a parent with a young child, trying to get them to eat healthy and what's correct, it can be tough at times. But your kid comes to a tournament with the lunchbox. Perfect example. I'm not putting anybody out. I had one of our wrestlers come to camp this weekend. He had a sandwich in his lunchbox, which is great. Okay, I'm cool with that. Ham and cheese sandwich.
I know who it is.
Cool. All right. Look next to the sandwich. We have a bag of Doritos and a bag of muffins. Guess what the kid ate, and guess what the kid didn't eat.
He ate the muffins and the Doritos.
And didn't even touch the sandwich. If you take away options from your kids, they're going to eat what they have in front of them.
That's the whole thing. Like, we provided good lunch.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
We always do.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
I mean, I think that day we had Subway.
Yep,
we did that.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I mean, Subway can be bad, but
yeah. But I mean, it's still. I mean, it's not Doritos and muffins but I mean, at tournaments, it's just. I know they're long days and everything like that, but I mean, good snacks to pack. Fruit cups, oranges, the little halo oranges, apples.
Those are that's excellent.
Stuff like that. Nutri-Grain bars, granola bars, the chewy bars, even the chewy granola bars that have the little chocolate chips in it. That's cool. It's a good snack. Yeah. Excuse me. Trail mix, stuff like that. Get them in. They make yogurt covered raisins. They make. I eat a lot of dehydrated fruits like apricots and
those are good snacks.
Snacks. Yeah, very good snacks.
Yeah, those are good snacks.
And you got you're giving them fruit roll-ups and gummies. They make good fruit slabs. As you would call it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, except it's actual fruit. It's not all this sugar pumped into it and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, having your kid come and walking around with a big bag of M&Ms in between matches, like, it's just you're not letting them get to their full potential. You know what I mean? You're not. There's time for that, and there's not time for that. After the tournament, sure, let them go crazy. Eat a whole cake.
So, what about those kids that cut like 12 pounds in 2 days to make weight? Well, what's the magical balance of staying healthy and strong as hell versus a kid that is probably not cutting weight the right way Where's the balance? What do you tell those kids that are cutting crazy weights?
The biggest misconception is I need to starve myself, right? I can't eat a lot. I can't drink a lot. And that's how I'm going to lose this weight. And that's completely wrong. Going back to what I said, your body's a machine. It needs fuel, right? I can't work out if I don't have energy. All right? My car can't run if it doesn't have gasoline. I need to be eating 6, 7 small portioned meals while I'm cutting weight throughout the day. You know, whether it's a turkey burger, it's brown rice, you know what I mean? Even a supplemental shake, something like that, little small, tiny meals throughout the day to keep your metabolism rolling, which is one, that's going to burn fat. That's going to help you lose weight. You know, it's going to give you the energy to get these good workouts in where you're sweating all this water weight off and sweating the fat off. You know, the only time you really should, and I hate to say it but I've been there. So, you know, when you're starving yourself, as they say, you know, when you cut back on eating and the liquid intake, day before, night before, day of, you know, until you weigh in. You know, you check your weight, maybe you're under a few ounces, you could have a couple sips of water. But during the weight cutting process, there needs to be fuel. You know, it's imperative. You need to be fueling your body.
So if you do cut, like how many hours prior do you cut it?
What do you mean? Like to like totally shut it down? Like you're not
like food and water.
I think it's honestly gonna just depend on you and where you're at with your weight. You know what I mean? That's where you have to be smart. You know, and you have to keep track.
And most important, ensure that you're with an adult that knows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And because I mean, I've cut insane amount of weight. You know, I've been there. I've done it. I haven't always done it the healthiest way. You know what I mean? Especially when I got to college. I got recruited at 174. Summer before, I got up to around 205, I believe. It was 205 or 206. I get to college, and the coach says, I think that we want you to go 165. So I was already anticipating the cut from 205 down to 174 so that I could be, you know, big at 174. And now I got to find this extra weight to lose from 174 down to 165. And that was the most unhealthy cut that I've ever done in my entire life. I mean, it was, and I wasn't the only one. I mean, the athletic trainers were there with IV bags and stuff. That's and that's where it gets like.
They didn't have the hydration test during my time.
Oh, no. And I absolutely love that they have it. I just wish that it was actually implemented.
It is now, I believe.
Is it?
I think it,
yeah. Because when we got it, it was like, it was like, yeah, we're doing it, you know, like, but it was, you know, you still.
So you guys didn't really.
No.
It wasn't good practice on that.
No.
Okay, that was one of my questions.
It was, we're following the rules when the right people are there that need to see us following the rules. So.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, that was my test. That was my question to you. So, are you familiar on how it works, the hydration test?
So I know when we did it, they basically you peed in the cup, you know, check your hydration level, which was pretty easy. I mean, easy to pass at that time, you know, like, because you did it one time. So in the beginning of the season, you did it one time. Flush your system out, drink a bunch of water, go in, pee clear. You know, there it was. And then they check your body fat, whether they did it, you know, with the pinchers, or they did it with the taping, or they did it. We had, when those scales first came out, that had those metal plates on it where your feet go. You know what I mean?
I wonder if that was accurate. Probably not very.
I don't understand how can it be accurate? It weighs me, but how does it? You know what I mean? You enter in your height, and then it checks your weight, and then it tells me how much body fat I have. How does it know how much muscle mass I have? How does it know? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know how accurate it was, but either way, it wasn't important. It didn't matter. We were doing it because we had to do it, you know, or we couldn't wrestle.
Yes. So my question is, what's the best approach towards a hydration test? Is there like a?
Are you asking me how to pass a hydration test?
Yeah, to ensure that you can cut some weight, to have the benefit of the doubt.
I'm trying to think and remember back to how it all worked because I know exactly what you're asking. And
so I'm sure some people will straight up, how do you beat it?
How do you give yourself some leeway to where I can make a big cut if I want to?
Is that even a thing? How can you beat it?
It's the perfect balance of cutting weight, but being hydrated at the same time. So basically I'm cutting down to the point where I'm not losing the water, which is tough for a lot of people because a lot of people don't have a lot of body, high percentage of body fat. So it's just trying to find that balance really. Cause you're going to have to go pee. You're going to have to pee in a cup. So they're going to have to see that you're hydrated.
Personally, I like it. I like the hydration test.
No,
I like that they're being monitored and they're giving, because if you take away, like you said, options, right? Before about food.
Yeah.
Same thing with weight cutting. If you take away Brock, you cannot wrestle 155.
Yeah.
At least that's gone out of your mind. Now you can really focus on real shit.
Yeah.
Training, lifting, real stuff versus like, man, I know Coach wants me at 164, but I could probably make 155 because I know I can, I can crush those guys.
Yeah.
At least those options, those stupid options are taken away.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like hydration tests.
Yeah.
And like I almost feel that maybe the UFC should go towards something like that. Because if UFC is on the microscope right now, right? If they're on the radar where most kids are watching, right? Because we talked about wrestling's not mainstream.
Yeah.
UFC is. So if UFC is doing the right thing on weight management and weight cutting, that becomes a standard for kids to idolize or see, and because all those guys I posted on Instagram how they're cutting weight, they're
barely. And I'm sure there's contract clauses and stuff like that of what they can and can't do. And that's the big thing too. No one, unless you've been in a combat sport to where like you had to cut weight, boxing, wrestling type deal. I mean, I'm not too familiar with like Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu and cutting weight as far as that aspect. I don't know if those guys are huge cutters or not. I'm sure they do cut some type of weight. I just don't know how serious it is. I just know, I've seen boxers cutting a lot of weight. I know I've seen wrestlers cutting a lot of weight because I've cut a lot of weight. They don't really show that aspect of it. And so I don't think there's really a need yet. I think that eventually the right person's going to start asking questions and wondering what's going on and how they're doing this stuff. Or it might take one of the fighters to step up and be like, hey, this is how to do it the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is how you should be doing it. This is how I prepare the correct way. So I'm not dying, and it's wild too, 'cause going through high school, I wasn't really, especially like dual meets and tournaments during the season and stuff, I wasn't cutting too much weight. You know what I mean? I really wasn't. I was comfortable, maybe 6-7 pounds. You know what I mean? If I was coming off of like Christmas break, but the big cuts came like at national tournaments and stuff, off season tournaments.
What was this? Was it a successful weight cutting session, or did it hurt you? Any regrets from cutting weight? Did you guys do it right and you were happy that you cut?
No one's happy cutting weight.
No, but if
I get what you're saying.
If you became national champion, you are. But like, man, it worked out.
Yeah.
Versus like you do all that weight cutting and I see a weaker Brock
and it didn't matter.
or lethargic Brock, and I'm like, no.
There was a few times, a couple times that was, I felt like that maybe was the case. There wasn't enough time to recover.
Will you say your dad was your agent? through your career.
In a sense, yeah.
He kind of, I don't know if he demanded or requested weight cutting or suggested this weight class versus the other.
To be honest, so with him, cutting weight wasn't, obviously if it needed to be done, it was going to be done, but there was never he was never like, hey, you weigh 170, you're going to drop down to 152, or, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't in that aspect. It really got tough, honestly, when I had to gain weight for college, when I was trying to get bigger to get to 205 to cut down to 174. That's when it really started getting kind of like he was on me. You know what I mean? And it was tough. I'll tell you what, and I've said this before to a few people. I mean, gaining weight was a lot harder than cutting weight, because cutting weight, just keep working out. I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel sleepy. I'm going to feel weak. Just fight through it. Yeah. I can put a sauna suit on, sweats, lay in a sauna or lay in the bathroom, turn the shower on hot, put a towel at the door, and sweat it out. I don't have to do anything except lay there.
Are you accidentally giving kids the blueprints how to do this?
There's tricks. There's tricks,
but
there is.
Again, ensure that your athletes are around a responsible grown-up.
Exactly.
We don't want kids trying to do
this stuff on their own. But there are little tricks. I mean, I used to pump the AC, so when we go to
Hey, what about standing on your head before winning? Did you guys do that?
No.
Upside down?
No. We did have you stand on a scale at a certain, you'd walk into certain places and they'd be like,
there was a sweet spot on the scale.
One of your buddies would come up that have already weighed in, they're like, hey, lean to the right a little bit, and you do it. It takes that 10th or 2 off. But no, I used to especially if we stayed in hotels, blast the AC as hard as you can, and I'd sleep either naked or in my boxers with just a sheet. And what that would do is your body's fighting for heat all night, and it wouldn't mess up
your metabolism.
Your metabolism.
Yeah.
I'd float. I'd float a pound, 2 pounds.
Yeah, I would float about 2. Yeah.
I mean, there was times when I was really getting it. And not the AC thing, like having the air conditioning thing going on or anything. It was just like a normal night, middle of wrestling season. I'd float 3 to 4 pounds.
Yeah.
It's just my metabolism was like, and I had the stuff in my system that it would burn off,
So through a hard weight cutting session.
Okay.
Yeah, through one of those, right?
Yeah.
Take me through your recovery process. Like, tell me your first intake. What do you grab first?
You want to hear a funny story about that? Like it goes along with exactly with that. After a large weight cut, you want to get hydrated, obviously.
So you would say liquids first.
Yeah, definitely, 100% for me at least. I
agree.
Electrolytes, Pedialyte is a big help. Don't chug anything. Do not chug anything.
Do not pound anything.
No, because you will. You're gonna poop yourself. It's happened. We were at Junior Olympics in New Orleans, and I did a pretty decent weight cut, and I was a couple tenths under. My dad was like, "Hey, you want a couple sips of water?" It was right before weigh-ins. I had my singlet on. And I was like, yeah, he gave me a little Dixie cup of water. He's like, just sip it. What'd I do? Boom, shot it. No more than 4 or 5 minutes later, just blasted in my singlet. I had to go, weigh-ins were starting.
What color was your singlet?
Man, it was a light blue because it was blue and red. No. It was freestyle, so it was blue and red.
Okay.
And I had a light blue Yeah, I mean, there's no recovery. I couldn't just step on the scale. But yeah, so don't chug liquids. But yeah, my first go-to recovery-wise is Pedialyte, water, room temperature water. I just feel like it hits your system a lot faster. Dennis Hall, Olympian, he would actually, kids don't do this because you're not old enough. Parents don't give this to your kids because it's illegal, but he would drink 2 warm beers right after weigh-ins.
Why is that?
I guess the hops and would just go through his bloodstream and wake him up and loosen it up and get things moving again.
Yeah, you know,
But
me and my
I always
buddies.
thought that was crazy.
Me and my buddies used to talk about like how many beers. You know, like when you drink a beer or two,
Yeah.
you feel like you're invincible. You're just like, you know, you're on top of the world.
Yeah.
You're like bad shit could happen, right?
Confidence.
Yeah, too much,
booster,
right?
yeah.
But there is a fine line that once you cross that, it's actually a negative.
Yeah.
You know, and like I would go into what we should do in high school, but I'd rather not. But
Say that
it's something along those lines. But it wasn't with wrestling; it was with football.
Mhm.
And I believe that there is a magical volume or formula that where it is on the positive. But if you cross that line,
It's bad.
It's you go backwards quick.
There's like a movie coming out about that.
Huh.
These friends were like, oh yeah, they wanted to do a study together, and they're trying to find the perfect amount of alcohol intake to where it's like, it's a positive.
Yeah, it's a thing. I think it's a thing
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
anything is good in moderation.
And I claim to be a scientist.
Yeah.
Listen to me. No, but yeah, okay. So after a hard weight cutting session, so fluids first, and then what was the next step? What was your? I want to hear your entire recovery process.
Hydrate. Like I said, Pedialyte, get the Gatorade,
And
maybe.
slow,
Yeah,
right?
slow.
Don't pound the water.
I mean, Gatorade's cool. My go-to is Pedialyte all the time. Start eating slowly. You know what I mean? Usually it's that, the pasta I was talking about, rice, stuff like that, fruit, refueling my body, getting right. Now, trying to think if there was ever a time that I would weigh in the day before. You guys are lucky, so I don't think I ever did a satellite weigh-in. I knew they existed, but I don't think that there was a time I ever had to do one. Because if that was the case, and I had a day or so before I had to wrestle,
yeah, we would crush it. Yeah, we
my
would
God.
definitely crush it. Yeah.
My God, I'm saying coming in 10 to 15 pounds heavier, than the weight class.
Yes,
That
was me. Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
And that's the point of the weight cutting, in wrestling. That's the history of it. You try to get down as slow as you can so you can come back up and be heavier when you get on the mat.
Yeah.
You have another advantage over your opponent, So, but yeah, the refueling and recovery, really stretching too. So after I hydrate and I fuel up, my joints, everything's flowing again. I'm not tight anymore because my body's fueled up. The vein,
yes.
the blood's thinned, and everything's moving.
Good point. Yeah.
So really good stretching. Have my
stretching is like the fountain of youth.
It really is, and I'm feeling that now. My wife lets me know all the time. Like every day, on my way out to practice, she's like, "Make sure you stretch." And I come home, I'll be like, "Oh, like just aches." That's all it is, and tightness, because I just got done practicing. My body was hot, now it's cold, it's tightened up. She's like, "Oh, did you stretch?" So yeah, stretching is extremely important, and especially after that type of weight cut, because your body's rather weak. Hydrate, refuel with good food, stretch. Our coaches used to have us, like, with our partners, you'd lay out, buddy's rubbing you out, you know what I mean?
Yes,
like, rubbing your back out, you're stretching your shoulder, really getting, hitting points that you can't really hit, and getting loose.
Have you heard of David Goggins?
David Goggins. No, I have not.
He's like one of those motivational, well, I don't know about speaker, because he
One of those, there's a ton of them out there.
Yeah, but this is legit. Look him up whenever you get the chance. He's
David
Goggins. Yeah, he I believe he was a Navy SEAL at some point. Got out, got super fat, depressed, crazy.
Did hear about him.
Yeah, and then I want to say
he's bald and
I want to say he was about 300 pounds, and I think what got him back into shape, back into the game, right, was stretching. He started stretching. Like, he said that he would watch TV for 2 hours, right? If he's going to watch TV for 2 hours, he's going to stretch for 2 hours.
Stretch for 2 hours, yeah.
And slowly, that's what got him. I mean, like, dude, he's in uber shape, and that's where I got the saying that stretch is like the fountain of youth, and he's probably right on that.
No, it is. I mean, you got to be, especially in wrestling, you have to be flexible. You do, because like a muscle tear can really screw you over. You know what I mean? Like it can take you out of the competition for a while.
Yeah, not just that, but like let me, right? I had back issues for many, many years, right?
Yeah.
And it was, come to find out, it was my hamstring was too tight.
Oh.
So my hamstring would pull down on my hip bone. My hip bone would do this number here so that my back muscle from the hip bone to the middle of the back will be stressed out.
Oof.
So stretching would have fixed all that. Stretching.
Yeah.
Stretch.
Yeah. And that's why I try to tell the kids, I'm like, warming up and stretching, extremely, extremely important. Extremely important. Just like everything that we do in practice, all the technique we work, we drill, all that stuff, stretching and warming up is as important, if not more important in times. The preparation, getting ready, for battle. And that's where it starts. For you to be a champion, that's where it starts. You have to do everything 100%.
Especially with us, I pride our club to be in uber shape.
Yeah.
We're in extremely good shape.
Yeah. No, honestly, we are.
We are.
Yeah.
So saying that, we win a lot of matches late, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially if it's really good competition. So, that could mean that we are in good shape, right?
Yeah.
But also, it could mean that we're not warm up properly until later in the second and third round.
Yeah.
So if we go ahead and break a sweat as we step into the mats, then you're already in uber gear.
Yeah. And I mean, you've heard me talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, going into my matches, I was sweating.
Mm-hmm.
I was sweating. Freestyle and Greco, before I walked on the mat, they, my dad, my coach, everybody, they have to wipe me off, and that's the way you got to be. You got to already be, when you go into the first period, when you start the match, you already have to be a period in. Does that make sense? Like
yes.
in your warm-up,
yes.
Ready to go. I'm not saying you're out of breath and tired and fatigue. Your body temperature, your heart rate, everything has to be going, And once we get, and the kids are starting to get there, they're starting to get there. But because we do, like you said, I mean, our conditioning is fantastic. I mean, we put the kids through it, and they can go, they can go and go and go and go and go. So that's not the issue. It's just being able to, off the whistle in that first period, get it going. We shouldn't have to wait until the second or third period to start getting everything moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your most memorable event, win, tournament that you're mostly proud about?
So there's a couple. The Beast of the East was big for me. Being a high school All-American there was a huge deal. So it's just a big, it's at the University of Delaware. It's a big arena.
Kind of like your hometown.
Yeah, exactly. There's people, everybody knows you. Everybody that knows you in the wrestling community in Delaware is there. Big name coaches, Cal Sanderson goes, like Dan Gable shows up, it's a huge deal. So that was felt pretty good. Personally, between me and my dad, my state title was really big, and that's something that we were, since I was little, that was the goal, like one of the goals was to win a state title.
Was your dad present when you won it?
He was in my corner.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, there's a picture, like jumped up into his arms and stuff.
Sweet.
So, yeah,
sweet.
it was really a big deal, and it was at my high school.
Oh.
So all my friends were there, teachers were there, fans were on our side,
Oh, nice.
I got a pin.
Oh,
So it was a good moment. It was, I mean, to be honest, to be 100% honest with myself, no one in the state at my weight class that year, no one was gonna come close. No one was there was they just they didn't
what weight class was this?
171. They just didn't have, and I'm not, this isn't me being cocky or anything like that. I just knew there was no one there. I mean, it wasn't like it was the strongest weight class in the world. There were good wrestlers, but I know no one was putting in the work I was putting in. No one wanted it more. They could say they wanted it, but no one, and the buzz going around about me at that weight class, they were scared going on the mat. They knew it was happening. So, I mean, the state tournament, I had 2 techs and 2 pins, and I got outstanding wrestler of the tournament.
Oh, sweet.
You know,
sweet.
like it was a mission. It was a mission. I already signed to college. I had my full scholarship. You know, I was coming out to eat, you know, and I was hungry, and I was hungrier than everybody else. No one was gonna stop it.
Wow.
So that was just a real, and I think I wanted it for my dad as well, you know. So it was like coming off of that junior year where I should have won it, and that's why you never look past an opponent, you know, because I looked past him.
Yes, exactly.
I looked past him. I teched him and pinned him, you know, throughout the season. Thought it was I thought he got lucky and beat, you know, the kid I was supposed to wrestle in the finals, and he showed out. He showed out, and he came and beat me. So I told myself that wasn't going to happen again, and I really dialed in and got serious. And my whole senior year was basically just preparing myself for the next level. You know, like, just like I said, dialing into it and getting ready.
Good.
The tournament that I really remember and that I really loved was, there's a council. It was like Battle of the Rock or something. It's like in Council Rock, Pennsylvania. Big brackets. You know, a lot of tough kids there. You'd get nationally ranked guys there and stuff like that. It was a really good tournament. But if you won this big championship belt. And I came up short my junior year. I think I placed like 3rd or 5th or something like that. I told my dad on the way to the tournament, you know, it was during the season. I was like, I'm gonna win. There's no way I'm not gonna win this tournament.
So you and your dad pretty tight.
Oh yeah, definitely,
that's awesome.
Definitely. I mean, growing up, it was tough. You know, our relationship was business in an aspect. You know, as far as wrestling goes. But I mean, now, yeah, him and my mom are extremely supportive of myself, of my little family that I have started. They're always there. Yeah, I mean, anything that my dad and I went through growing up, it's been squashed, and it's, you know, our relationship's solid.
So it sounds like there was a lot of ride home moments.
A lot of ride home moments.
Is there
a lot of ride home?
Is there one particular that you would like to share?
I can get into it a little bit.
A little bit.
It well, you know, the not having a good practice and getting dropped off. You know, it's like 8:00 at night, pitch black out on the back road. You know, 5-6 miles from home. All right, get out, start running. I'll put the blinkers on. I'm going to keep up a pace. You know, if you feel tired, you better lay flat, because I'm going to keep going. You know.
Oh, wow. So you were in front of the car.
I was in front of the car, yeah. Needless to say, I did get tired.
Well, I was going to ask you,
I mean,
how many times you lay down and got flat?
Yeah, no. Do I think he would? No, he would not have. He wouldn't have, well, you know, he wouldn't have done it, but at the time, it was, you know, that was a relationship that we had, you know, unfortunately.
Was that triggered by a bad practice?
Yeah. It could be triggered by bad practice. It could be triggered by...
Let me ask you this. Was he in the wrestling room with you in high school?
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah, he was.
Is that...
He was one of the assistant coaches. So.
Okay.
Yes.
If you could do it all over again... Would you prefer different?
So that's a great question. So everything that my dad had me do, no matter how much I don't agree with it, I want to start by saying this. No matter how much I don't agree with it, and that I think that certain things were done wrong, it did ultimately get me to the main goal of getting a full scholarship, winning the state title, becoming a high school All-American. All that stuff, all my goals that I wanted to accomplish, it worked. It got me there. Okay. I will also say that anytime he asked me if that's what I really wanted, if I wanted him to push me, I said yes. That's off the table now. Okay. Would I have done it differently as a father and having a son? All right. Yes. I would go about it a lot differently.
So you're expecting a son.
Yeah.
More than likely, there's at least 90% that your son will wrestle. There's a strong chance that your son will wrestle.
I'm not going to force it on him.
But he better do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the history books. You know what I mean? Like it's written. Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't, he doesn't. But let's
just say he does, right?
There's going to be some influence in it, yeah.
So the blueprints that you got from your dad that made you today who you are.
Yeah.
More than likely, would those be the same blueprints or probably not?
I'd probably go back and look at the blueprints and make some corrections in spots. As far as like the work put in and the workouts and the, time management and the discipline part of it all. Yeah, for the most part. And when I say discipline, I don't mean in the manner of I'm misbehaving, so I'm getting disciplined. I mean being a disciplined athlete, and focusing and keeping my eyes on the prize.
Well, discipline is everything.
Yeah, and it's extremely important. So, yes, but the way certain things went down, I don't. No, never. No, I.
Wait. Okay, so it sounds like there was a near miss. Near miss where the relationship could have went the opposite way from that near miss. So it sounds like there was a near miss.
Elaborate more on that. What do you?
You said the way went down.
Yeah. I mean, there were just certain things that would happen that just I think that were extremely unnecessary. And he knows it, and we've like I said, we've sat down and talked about it.
So the near miss is that the relationship could have broken your relationship from these near misses or the way it went down.
It did break our relationship a few times, but obviously I kept coming running back. I couldn't do it without him. I owe it all to him. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it without him, and that's proof when I went to college. He wasn't there. Guess what? Dad's not there. Dad's not telling me to wake up and go work out. Dad's not telling me to go to class. Dad's not telling me not to go to the party.
Discipline.
It was out the window. And so, yeah, I mean, it was just...
Have you heard the concept of be disciplined or get disciplined?
Yeah. But my discipline was always, let's go out and run, right? Let's do suicides. Okay, when can I stop? My dad's reply would be when I get tired. And he wouldn't get tired. There'd be times where I could be out there for 3 hours. I could be out there for 15 minutes. It didn't matter. I've fallen asleep with my face in the toilet. That was discipline. Everything that I was doing was to get to the goals that I needed to reach. It was just certain things. I don't think the suicides and stuff like that, I don't think that was wrong. I think that's a great discipline. You're not putting hands on your kid. You're not making them feel like crap, by talking down on them. It's just physical labor, and it's helping them out. they're getting fit, they're getting ready. And I will say that, there are the bad stuff that would go down. There was no physical stuff. There was no, he never put me down. You suck. You're horrible. You're not going to be anything or anything like that. It was never, there was none of that. It was just, man. A lot of just as if everything that I didn't do or everything that I did wrong was a direct representation of him and made him look bad. I feel like, you know what I mean? Or as if I was disrespecting him because he was taking the time out to take me to these tournaments and putting the money in. My mom was putting the money in to have me put all this work into it, and for there not to be a positive outcome. And I think that was hurtful for him because he felt people looked at him and the way he probably talked about me to others in a positive manner, maybe talking me up or whatever, whatever he was doing. And then for me to get taken down a few times in practice or whatever, it was like I was embarrassing him.
So if you got taken down in practice, that was an issue.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, there was.
Like I was telling Devin, that's what upsets me about Devin, because I make sure I never got taken down in practice.
Yeah.
If I got taken down in practice, I had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
The world was falling.
Yeah.
And I want Devin to have that pride.
Yeah.
Because that's where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and so taken down, right?
Yeah.
Imagine giving up back points.
Yeah. Horrible. Horrible. Yeah. So
because I feel that a lot of our kids are okay with going to their bags.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, less now, right?
Yeah.
But
it's still there. It's still there. So I felt that. I felt that as well. Like, it wasn't like, and that's okay. If the kid's feeling down on himself because they got taken down or they gave up back points, that's great. It just got to the point where I wasn't worried about how I was feeling because I kept looking over there. I got taken down. First thing I did wasn't like, damn it, like I'm looking over at Dad. And guess what Dad's watching? And guess what Dad does? Shakes his head. You know what I mean? Or gives you that look.
When was the last time you and your dad talked about exactly that?
The last time that him and I talked about it, and it was honestly, it was a very good long conversation. It was, and it broke it down. And we haven't talked about it really since, because there's no need to,
But there might be. There's a grandchild coming up.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, between me and him,
yeah.
and that stuff was back. It was literally, I think, like the day before his wedding. We went to go pick up flowers or something, and we were sitting in the car, and just let it all out. And that was it. I mean, there was no. I don't want to make excuses for myself, like on how things turned out and why I'm not where I should be or anything, because I'm a strong believer in everything happens for a reason. I absolutely love the fact that I have, things happen the way they did because I'm blessed with like a beautiful daughter, a son on the way, a loving wife, our family's awesome, tight knit, you know what I mean? Like, and I wouldn't want it any other way. But, where was I going with that? Lost my train of thought. Okay. I just let it all go. When like I said, when I got to college and I didn't have Dad there, it was party time. Let's go crazy. Let's not focus on the mission anymore. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out later. We'll and that's where procrastinating really became a problem, you know, and I'm still a problem I'm dealing with, you know. And to be honest, until I mean, you guys really, it just kind of jump started it, you know what I mean? To where it's like, okay, this needs to be done. So now I need to, you know, boom, 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 and trying to keep that fire going. I had the conversation with my wife, I think like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, you know, I need to keep active. I need to keep active. I need to keep this going and going and going and going and building off of it.
That's why I asked you. That's one of my first questions tonight. What has this, you reuniting with the sport of wrestling?
Yeah.
What has that done for you?
It's done just that. It's ignited the fire. It's lit the fire under my ass. You know.
So
to get going.
It sounded like you were kind of. I don't want to go to the extent of depression.
No. Yeah, definitely. Depression is huge. Huge.
So,
and I think it all just stems from like letting myself down and not living my life to the full potential. I got confused there for a while of I need to live my life to the fullest. And the fullest was going out and partying and doing crazy stuff, or, you know, being the cool guy and this and that, which I didn't really get the chance to do when I was growing up because wrestling was it, you know. There was no parties, there wasn't anything like that. Of course, obviously, I still did my little things here and there that, you know, my parents know about now, but at the time, you know, they didn't know about, you know. But other than that, there was no, you know, prom, homecoming, guess what? Coming back to the house afterwards. Everybody's going out to so-and-so's house to party or whatever for the night. I'm going home, you know? So
see, my takeaway from the outside looking in, not only that I've seen this movie hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And that's why a healthy balance, you know, because your dad could have been the reason why you climbed to the top in high school.
Yeah.
But he was also what hindered you when you went on your own.
Oh, man. So, and I've heard that a lot. I've heard that from family members. I've heard that from friends and stuff like that. But he was doing what he thought needed to be done and what was the right way to be done. Maybe because he didn't have the examples. No one gave him an example of how to do it. You know?
How was your dad as an athlete in high school?
Oh, he was athletic. I mean, football, hell of a baseball player.
Was he as successful as you were?
Not. He got really he like broke his neck, I think, like junior or senior year in football, and it kind of crushed all of that. So to say, I mean, not in wrestling, no, definitely not. And in other sports, I'm honestly not too sure of. That's one thing he never really talked about.
So
success like that.
So yeah, it sounds like your success was also his.
Okay. Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
And we always talk about a healthy balance.
But to be honest, I mean, yeah, you know, he was the one that was there with me all the time. He was the one there at 3 and 4 in the morning, waking up and going for the runs, or even riding his bike next to me while I'm running, or getting me up and getting me going, making me my protein shakes, you know, taking me here, taking me there. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I mean, part of the glory is his. Yes, I was putting in the work, but I wouldn't have put in the work unless he was there pushing me to put it in.
You know, I have always said that wrestling, this is the beauty of wrestling, the good and the bad, and the ugly, is that.
And there's really a fine line that separates those two.
Yeah, wrestling is a sport that when your child loses, the family loses.
Yeah.
The family loses. Like, we lose.
Yeah.
When you win, we all win. Mm-hmm. You know, like football is always like, the pulling guard, then pull, whatever. You know, there's always different factors in football.
You can blame it on somebody.
But in but in wrestling, it's it's so connected. It's the intensity, the energy, the just that everybody, the family's connected on that win or loss.
Yeah.
It affects the entire family.
Yeah.
Especially on big ones, big events. So my message from this podcast is a good, healthy balance is huge. Because if you're working for the moment, not bulletproof for the future.
Yeah.
Like my takeaway is that too much of anything could hinder you in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have that balance of partying, but not too much.
Yeah.
Because it's also hindering.
Yeah.
But if you get a little taste of this and that, by the time you go on your own, you don't crave it. You don't want it. You're not going to overdo it because you taste it a little bit. You know what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of going balls in there and be like and get lost. I've seen a lot of kids get lost in that.
Yeah.
They had zero freedom. They get a little bit of it and they lose themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen it too. I've seen it with not just myself, but I've seen it with some really top tier athletes. You know what I mean? Like, and then they get off and
they're burned out. They're burned out, or they're just
burned out.
I
don't think
it just new.
Yeah,
new is always very attractive.
Yeah. So the burnt out aspect of it, I think if you're really passionate about something, and you love it, and you would give the last breath in your body to try to achieve greatness in it. I don't think that there's a burnout level. I think that I know for a fact that I could, if my body was in shape and if I'd wrestle until the day I died.
So you mentioned that your dad would ask you, "Do you want this?
Yeah.
Do you want me to be such a way? Do you how hard? Like."
Do you want me to push you? Do you want me to get you to where you need to be?
So there's a reason why 18 years old makes you an adult.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you are a minor at a certain age.
Yeah.
Even though you say, I want this, but as a minor,
yeah,
you're not always going to make the right decisions.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it at that moment too was almost kind of like you can say no, but guess what? I'm gonna be an asshole about it. I'm gonna be like.
So there's that too.
And that's what and that's how it was. It wasn't like because there was times where I was like, I want you to back off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I want to do it on my own terms. Okay, fine. But then we wouldn't talk.
Mixed signals.
There would be no communicating. There'd be no like. It wouldn't be like he'd just go being, all right, I'll just be your dad, man. You know what I mean? It was like, well, if I'm not gonna, be the one doing it, then.
So I got your resume for the camp.
Okay.
And Shane called, or I forget how it went. I was like, "Hey, Shane, I'm looking at Brock's resume right now, and what the hell happened? How come Brock wasn't on a top 10 school?"
Yeah.
Yeah, your resume reflects.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to find out.
So I mean, we had stacks recruiting letters, you know what I mean? And I think the big thing was the fear of big school, you know what I mean? Like, and doing that was one factor of it. So I wanted to go to a smaller school. 2 was money. Where was the money?
Yeah, because wrestling is only 11 scholarships, and it gets chopped up over 50 athletes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And,
it's tough.
Who's going to pay for school? Yeah. And so, I went on a few college visits, and ended up going to Newberry, and they were like, "Oh, we want to offer you a full scholarship." Throw it away. You know what I mean? Like the coach, like the guys. Knew a couple guys that wrestled there from Delaware. You know what I mean? So why not? It's in South Carolina. It's beautiful here. It's a small school, great town, #1 wrestling team in Division II. You know, national champions, athlete school. You know, football national champions. You know, it just was. It was a good fit. You know what I mean? And honestly, there was never a thought of even starting here. I think honestly, I should have gone to JUCO. I think I should have gone JUCO first, and got a feel for what college is. You know, and then moved on from there. Yeah, because I feel like 1 year of JUCO is, for someone like myself who wasn't great in school, and the reason I wasn't great in school is because I was not really pushed to be great in school. I was worried about being an athlete, and in our high school,
yeah, there you go, balance. And we're talking about balance.
You need to be a great student athlete, and I was a great athlete. I wasn't a great student. In all, I just didn't care. You know what I mean? I knew it'd be taken care of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was. Things were taken care of. You know, oh, you're not, because we had kids on our team that weren't allowed to wrestle because they were not eligible. You know, I was never to that point. I was never, you know, I was never to that point.
Yeah.
But there would be times where, hey, you're failing geometry or whatever it is, you know? Well, guess what? Next week, I'm not failing geometry anymore. You know? Yeah. All those missing assignments turned up out of nowhere. You know, like, which was cool at the time, but it hurt me in the long run, you know, because you get to college and it's not like that.
Yeah.
Your butt better show up to class. Yeah. You know, that's part of holding on to your scholarship.
And for the most part, they're not attached to you. They don't give a shit if you show up to class or not.
No, they're there to collect the paycheck.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, plus they don't want to babysit grown-ass man.
Exactly. So, I don't know.
Balance is the key. It's the key that, to me, this podcast, you know, a lot of times I'll start a podcast, I don't know what the message is.
Yeah.
It's developmental, right?
Yeah.
I think in this case, I think balance is huge. Because I think Brock had all kinds of potential to conquer the world, right?
Yeah.
But your journey's not over, right?
No,
there's a reconnection with the sport of wrestling.
Yeah,
and which I told you, I expressed myself how thankful we are for you.
No, and it goes two ways, man.
There you go. And I hope that the sport of wrestling is giving back to you on that reconnection, whether it's on your mental health or just your demeanor, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Wrestling is beautiful.
It really is.
we said that, we established that at the very beginning, but it's extremely beautiful. And it's the importance of balance is so important for the sake of longevity.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're coaching at the moment, for the moment, hard as hell right now, and you're almost like imprisoned to the sport of wrestling, then that's not a good marriage.
No.
You and wrestling is not a good marriage at that point. And I feel that, you know, your dad, you know, had everything to do with your success.
Yeah.
But potentially has something to do with your hindrance and you being so dependent in him and
exactly
on the afterlife where he's not around. So balance is very, very big, you know, and not just with, you know, like partying. You gotta taste it a little bit, monitor, manage it.
Yeah.
Right. In this house, 3 boys, 0 B's, the entire year.
Oh wow.
0. So balance. Balance is key.
Yeah.
You know, Davin. You haven't seen Devin, right?
No.
He went to a birthday party over at Beachman. So, you know, there has to be a good balance, you know, because I don't want him to get a little bit of freedom and act like he'd never seen it before.
Exactly.
Whatever that might be, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, grades is like your credit score. Your GPA is like your credit score. If you have awesome credit score, you can buy whatever vehicle, whatever house. You know, you're gonna get approved. You know, your GPA. If your GPA is not right, that's a financial irresponsibility.
Yeah.
You're not being responsible with your finance if your GPA is not right. Mm-hmm. Because even with my oldest son, he had a 3.2 high school GPA with a 3.4. That translated to $8,000 more scholarship money.
Yeah.
So again, your GPA is a financial gains.
No, it really is. Everything you do in high school. I mean, I was student council and doing all these clubs and stuff, trying to build it up. I mean, it is. You know, it's financial gain. You know, the more money you're gonna get.
And it's gotta be balanced. Your grades gotta be right, and your discipline on and off the mats has to be right.
Yep.
On and off the field, on and off the court. It has to be right, and a good balance. Parents, you know, balance.
Big thing. Parents.
Look at the future. Don't coach for the moment.
Yeah.
Don't discipline for the moment. Be sure you're investing in their future as a well-balanced human being.
Exactly, and that's a good thing we have with our parents is, I mean, it was funny because Brandon was having a rough day on Friday. Came up to me.
Brendan K.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I was like, your dad's going to show up. Wait till he gets here and talk to him about it. And the kids know, unless you're injured, if you're crying and you're injured, it's okay to come up to me and talk to me. If you're crying because you don't want to be here or something, I'm not the one. So
not a good idea.
Go talk to Coach Shane.
I was going to say that.
Go talk to Coach Daniel. Go talk to whoever you need to talk to. Yeah. I'm not the one to talk to about it because I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for you. You know, everybody's here putting in the same work. What's the matter with you? You know, you're not injured. You got the same health level as everybody here. They're all working, and you're not crying. They're not crying.
Still breathing.
If
you're crying, you're breathing.
And it was funny. His dad came and he went up to his dad like, "I don't want to be there." His dad was like, "Hey, go! I don't care. Go get on the mat." You know, and that's a great thing we have with our parents. You know, we don't have a lot of babying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
actually, almost none of the parents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much all of them. You know, they don't do that. So that's fantastic because I don't want that to come out of here as like, oh, be soft on your kids. Do it. No. You have to have the balance though, because you know if you want them to be successful in anything, you got to have the balance. You know, you got to push them past their limits of comfortability to that point of where they want to quit, and then you push them a little bit more to show to them like, hey, you saw where you wanted to quit. You have so much more to give there. You know what I mean? But you also have to know when it's time to kind of bring it in. Sit down with them, talk to them, relax. You know, chill out. Hey, take a day off. You know, take a day off. Let's go do something fun. Let's hang out. Don't worry about it. We won't talk about it. We won't think about it. Clear your head. Clear everything. Next day, boom, back in on it. You know what I mean? There was no days off.
That's hard, though. What you just said is hard. The whole, like...
Life isn't easy, though. Everything's
like
hard.
If something... Like,
mean,
if let's just say Devin has a bad performance, the whole... Let's not talk about it until tomorrow. That's hard.
No, it's okay to talk about it after it happens. I'm just saying in the fact of like going about it the wrong, you know, like treating it as a punishment.
Yeah, like the ride home, so to speak.
The ride home, exactly. Like treating it like a punishment instead of a learning experience. Hey, what happened? Okay, so what'd you get from it? Why would you do that when you know that this is the way to do it? Okay, we need to do this. Okay, then when we get home, we can work on this, you know, or whatever it may be. Instead of turning it into a punishment, because that's what made me resent, you know, stuff with my dad and kind of like hate the sport in those small moments was when it became a punishment. You know, I was already punishing myself. I was already beating myself up inside.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't need it from other aspects.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Your son goes to high school, will you want your dad training him?
I'm gonna, for one thing, I'm gonna train my son until it's time to pass him off to someone like yourself or a high school coach or a college coach, right? So I'm going to work with him outside of those aspects of things. I don't want to be in the room with him in high school.
You don't?
No, I don't want to be in the room with him in middle school. I don't want to be, no. My job as a parent is to be a parent. Your job as a coach is to coach. And I'm going to leave that to you.
Oh, we need a podcast 15 years from this one to see how
That's
that
what
goes.
it is. And the work's going to take place. Me and him working is going to be down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the garage, in the basement, with the mats, with the weights, with the tires and the sledgehammers, with the dummies, putting in that extra work with the sleds, doing that type of stuff. Yeah. But when it comes to him and his team and and his practices, the coach gets paid to be a coach. That's his job. I'm going to let him do his job. And that's what it is. And I'm there for advice. I'm there for this and that.
Yeah.
I don't care if the coach was like, hey, we want you to come in and coach and be. No. Nope. That's it. I want him to have the main control in his success. You know what I mean? Like I don't want him to base his success off of my judgment of what, me looking at him, making sure he's doing the right stuff and everything. I'll be there to push him and guide him as much as possible. But that's where my balance is going to come in. Me as a parent, that's at home. What we do at home. When he's at school, when he's at practice, that's for there. And that's that balance that I'm going to have. Yeah. Now, granted, coach calls me and tells me he's slacking off or he's doing that, that's where there's going to be some issues.
Or your son tells you that your coach is slacking. The coach is not right for him.
Okay.
For growth.
That's tough. That is tough because you do have kids that do that type of stuff that the coach is doing everything right and on them and busting their butts. And look, the first camp, you got a phone call, did you not?
Yes.
Perfect example. There was no singling out. There was none of that. Everybody was getting it. And you just couldn't handle it. Your kid couldn't handle it. So
Yeah.
There's that as well. So that's something that when that time comes, maybe I go sit in a practice, or maybe I ask a couple of the other parents if they're hearing stuff too, or seeing. Yeah. And also his results on the mat. His results on the mat are going to show. If they're doing the right things at practice. If they're doing the right things at practice.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
and that's we have what I call the expert eyes, right? So, like knees touching on the mat, hip, elbows, just the little things, right? And so that's going to promote questions to your athlete, right? And then those questions, like for example, Devin, I picked Devin up. Hey, how's practice? Oh, cool. What'd you guys do? How long was that session? Is that all you did? Oh, okay. There's times where I take Mason home. Mason, how you doing, buddy? How was practice? What you guys do? Oh, really? Why? Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So like Mason, dude, I treasure Mason. Good kid.
Yeah. Amazing. I love that kid so much.
He doesn't lie.
No.
So when he tells me something, when something weird happened at practice, I'm like, huh.
Well, and he doesn't go out of his way to tell you something weird happens either. He just talks, and then it's just honest coming out of his mouth. He doesn't even realize what he's saying
and then,
is wrong.
I look at Devin, I'm like, hey, Devin, so I get confirmation for two kids that I truly trust.
Yeah. So
the culture has to be right.
Yeah.
For you to truly let go.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to drive you crazy. And I'm telling you, because right now you're saying that I want that. I want to be a parent. I want to be a parent really bad and just let it be. But the culture has to be right, because if the culture's not right, then you have your hands full.
And that's when you need to take it into your own hands. So I'd be crazy to say that I'm going to follow along to the T with everything I just said.
That's what I said. Like, I would like to podcast 15 years from this one.
Exactly.
To see where we're at on that.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously there's going to be hiccups along the way and this and that. And, but it also starts me getting them in the right rooms. You know what I mean? Doing my research. Luckily we have the internet now. Luckily we have social media. You look up places, like the Iron Knights, like the Boom Ranch. You look up places like Bo Nickel's dad's spot up in Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to find the solid rooms and the solid programs to put your kids in. You know what I mean? And nowadays, these kids are getting discovered before they're even hitting high school. You know what I mean? Before they're not even wrestling dual meets and stuff yet. They're just going to these big national tournaments and getting discovered. So maybe that'll be it. Maybe just in the area we live in, the high school wrestling scene isn't that great, and we can't necessarily relocate our family just solely based on his based on his wrestling career. Take him out. He's not wrestling for the team. We go and we travel. There's tournaments year round that you don't need to be a part of a team for. There's camps year round you could take them to, training camps and stuff like that. Yeah. So maybe we do it that way. I don't know. But, yeah, the coaching needs to be correct. The rooms need to be right, but my goal is to, yes, let the coaching be done by the coaches and let the parenting be done by me. So
I think that's good. That's good. That's a good game plan. I like it.
That's the goal.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you mentioned kids being seen at an early age. Mm-hmm. So what tournaments do you recommend?
There's so many. I mean, Super 32. Now listen, before I say this, these are great tournaments. Now, am I saying put your kids in all these tournaments? No, because you'll waste a lot of money sending your kid to a tournament to get their butt beat 2 and out. You know what I mean? And I mean bad. I mean not close matches, bad. Make sure your kids are ready. You know what I mean? Make sure they're putting in the work, they're 100% dedicated, and they've wrestled enough tournaments to where, they're winning constantly, because these kids are serious. Super 32, the Tulsa Nationals, Ohio Tournament of the Champions. I don't know. Do they still have that going on? Do you know in Columbus, the Ohio Tournament of the Champions?
I don't know.
That was huge growing up.
I know the Tulsa.
Tulsa, yeah, that's been around forever. Fargo.
Fargo. That's the big one. Still
huge.
My nephews are going. They qualify for the Fargo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Both of them.
For Team Tennessee?
No, Virginia.
Virginia? Oh, sweet. Where in Virginia?
Virginia Beach.
Oh, nice. Nice. I actually, my senior year, I was looking at going to Great Bridge down there in Virginia. There's a huge, great wrestling school. But yeah, Virginia has some really, really, really good wrestlers.
Yeah.
Really good wrestlers. They always bring
Virginia Beach Duels is big.
Yep. And that's not, man, just get them on the dual teams too. Because the dual teams, a lot of times, you'll be able to find these coaches looking for kids to fill in spots. You don't even have to pay money.
Yeah.
They need the spots filled, so they'll pay for your kid to go.
And I'll post those openings.
Yeah, Disney duels, stuff like that. Get them in there, because at these tournaments you're getting, the Junior Olympic tournaments, the AU Junior Olympics, we were wrestling 11, 12 matches.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
hey, let's talk about Junior Olympics.
Okay.
So you were a Junior Olympic champion.
Yes.
So
2008.
So what does that? How does that translate as far as prep for the real Olympics?
Oh, so other than the freestyle wrestling, it's not. AAU calls it the junior. It's the Junior Olympics. It's a dual meet tournament. From all teams all over the nation come, whether it's all-star teams or state teams, whatever. And it's freestyle. It's a freestyle dual meet tournament. And you'll have teams and these were teams again growing up. These were so you get Samson's from Ohio, Pennsylvania Steel, Mawa. These were Hammers, Pennsylvania, big Pennsylvania teams, New Jersey teams. That would be there. And then throughout the weekend, we had one in New Orleans. We had one in Virginia Beach. There's every year. I think the one I won was in Novi, Michigan. If I'm correct, I believe it was the one in Novi, Michigan. And then, yeah, you're wrestling like 11, 12 matches. And basically it's based on you wrestle everybody, and your record reflects on, gold, silver, bronze. And I think I went either 11 or 12-0. And so that's what gave me the gold medal for the junior Olympics.
Got it. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
So do you have any international experience?
International, no. So when I was 9/11 happened when I was in like 7th grade, I think. And shortly after that, I got invited to go over to Bulgaria and train with the Bulgarians and stuff in like Greco. And my mom just canked it. It was right after 9/11. It was like the summer. It was the summer after 9/11. She, it was just terrorist attacks and planes and, security and stuff like that. She wasn't very comfortable with me flying overseas. So that was, that was it. Now, when I did do the Ironman, it was AAU Ironman tournament in Pennsylvania with Freestyle, Greco, folk style, right? There were a few people there. Now, I'm pretty sure that these guys were just living in America, but were from a different country. And they were wrestling there. So that was pretty cool because their styles are different. You know what I mean? Like it's they wrestle Greco differently. They wrestle freestyle differently. They have different ways that they attack and setups that they use, heavy wrist ties, love working off of obviously Russian series and elbow passes and controlling your wrists a lot. And your hands. So that was pretty much the only international exposure that I had growing up.
Yeah, I don't know.
You hearing it?
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
You mind if I
do
try to get this?
Yeah, do what you gotta do. Yeah, there you go. That's probably better. So what about Jordan?
There we go.
Jordan Burroughs not making it.
Kyle Dake beating Jordan Burroughs. Kyle Dake's been working his whole entire life just to beat Jordan Burroughs. That's the thing. I mean, I think he even said it. He's like, after like the first time he lost to him, he knew that Jordan was the guy to beat. He wasn't worried about wrestling anybody else. He wasn't looking past them, but he was solely training to beat Jordan Burroughs and go to the Olympics.
Yeah. Sheesh. The funny thing is
he'll be back. Jordan Burroughs will be back. I mean,
the Olympic is tough. It's tough though.
It has to be such a tough loss because you gotta wait so long for the next.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like 4 years. 4 freaking years.
Jesus. And a lot can happen in 4 years.
Exactly. You can age. Age is not in your favor.
No, it's not.
So
you go from 34 to 38.
Boom. Big difference. Big swing.
That's huge. Now, maybe 30 to 34 is okay, but, 34 to 38, man, wow. Like, and going and trying to make the Olympic team, like wrestling against college kids.
I'm sure you saw that match, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Kyle Dake came to work, dude.
Yeah. Like early. Well, Jordan came, like, he finished strong. He was like, desperately, he was going out there. I just came. I felt like.
I think Kyle got into his head, man. Well, Kyle had that swagger about him. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, like the first minute,
the way he's walking around the mat and stuff.
Well, the first minute
his attitude was just.
He was superior the first minute, but then after that, like Jordan got on his legs so many times.
Yeah, and he couldn't finish.
What was it? Because he was scared to make a mistake of being rolled.
I think that was one, and I think also
because
you can hit a double leg on somebody only so many times.
But
no matter how good it is, that's his, and Dake knew how to defend it.
Yeah, it almost seemed like low like below the knees type shots.
Yeah.
Now he's traditional.
Well, he usually wraps. Yeah, he blasts through.
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
He tries to get the legs together and blasts through. Kyle kept a wide base, so it was hard to get those legs together, right? How does he finish? How does Burroughs finish? Blasting through. Well, now he stopped them.
Black circle.
So now,
circle.
So now he's trying to drop. Sorry, tries to drop down, to the ankles.
Yeah.
To try to get, but it's too late.
That was weird to me. I feel like there was no secondary movement after he got in his legs. I was just like, man, he must be really good at either, like a high crotch lift or whatever, or
That
was weird.
I don't know what the game plan was for that match, but it did not work out
Yeah.
at all for Burroughs.
So what about Ben Askren?
Ben Askren.
Askren getting demolished by YouTube guy.
He doesn't care. Ben has been done.
What was that a disgrace to us wrestlers? Though?
I don't personally think so. I don't think so at all. Dude's making first off, Ben Askren is one of the most innovative wrestlers of our time. Right? Dude just you would see him get in such horrible positions to where you would think he was done for and get out of it and score off of it. You know what I mean? Olympian. There it is. He doesn't need to accomplish anything after that. Guess what he does? He has his own wrestling club. He's all about the kids. He does videos and stuff about how, how you should treat youth wrestling and how to parent and what to do the correct way. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great dude and he cares about the kids, and that's extremely important to me as well. He went out and made $4 million for 5 seconds. They got pictures of him walking out of the ring with his wife, and they all have a smile on their face walking out after he just got knocked out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him. It absolutely does not matter to him. And look at him when he walked in the ring. He doesn't look like he worked out at all.
No.
He was there for a payday.
No.
He loses no sleep over it. He's laughing with his $4 million. He's probably putting it into his own camp. You know what I mean? Into his own program. Did
you see that?
If anything, it's
did
good.
You see it? Did you see it though?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Yeah. If anything, it's great for the sport of wrestling, right? Because people are like, "Oh, this guy's a college wrestler." What? Let me look up his old matches. You know what I mean? Let me look at. Oh wow, this is what wrestling is. Oh wow! And then they get in that YouTube loophole
again,
and it spreads it out.
The oldest sport in the world.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's been around for too long and people get tired of it.
And we're talking about that. Oh, this is what wrestling really is. That's crazy. That statement is.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate talking about the whole the YouTube fighters. It's just, I think it's a joke all around for the fact. And the bad thing is Oscar De La Hoya is, people should be mad at him. He's the one that's starting all this stuff and doing all these things.
He did?
Well, he did the Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell fight. Why? Why do you have Chuck Liddell getting in the ring with anybody? The dude's old. He's been knocked out. All his last fights, he's been getting just slept. You know what I mean? The dude wasn't gonna come in there and fight. Tito Ortiz too. You know what I mean? But Tito Ortiz is more of an athlete. He's young.
Younger. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
that was a long time ago though.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. But paving the way for dumb mockery.
Yeah.
It's a mockery of both boxing and mixed martial arts and wrestling and Muay Thai and all this stuff. It's not made to be a joke. There's people that bust their ass for this stuff. Yeah. To get in there. And you're making a joke out of it by putting, Joe Schmo and next is Aaron Carter and Lamar Odom fighting each other.
Who's Aaron Carter?
Aaron Carter, I think his brother was Nick Carter, who was in either an NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
And then Aaron Carter was a little kid, like Justin Bieber type stuff. He's fighting Lamar Odom now, who was an NBA player that was married to one of the Kardashians or something.
Yeah, I remember.
Why? Why? What for?
Yeah.
What for? You know what I mean? If you're doing it for charity or something, I understand. But they're doing this stuff and people making money off of it. millions and millions and millions of dollars off of it because people want to watch this dumb stuff. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. And the messed up thing is, I'm not paying. Well, never paying for anything like that. I'm never ever paying for anything like that. 2, the problem is you're getting real MMA fans and real wrestling fans and real Muay Thai fans and real boxing fans and real jiu-jitsu fans buying into this stuff. They're damaging itself instead of trying to push other stuff like, hey, why don't we have wrestling? Let's try to actually get wrestling pushed out. Let's try to get these matches pushed out.
See, I didn't know there was professional wrestling.
There was at one point, yes.
Yeah, I didn't
But
know
even that was kind of like, they were like up on this stage and they could push each other down off of it. And
it's about like our kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really weird.
See, I didn't know
it was
that.
really, really weird. See if it's on YouTube or something later. Look it up. It was, it was cool, but it was,
yeah,
they had to.
They try to like make it interesting for the non-wrestlers.
For the non-wrestlers, yeah. But it was just, it fell through. It fell through completely. It was.
I mean, even like real wrestling, our wrestling.
Yeah.
The rules constantly are changing.
Oh, man, tell me about it. That was the biggest thing, and I'm still getting used to it. I'm still figuring stuff out. So
imagine the non-wrestlers. If we're constantly changing our own rules,
they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not like football where you take the ball, put it inside the end zone, and I know there's field goals and other stuff, but like with our wrestling, it's
changed. It's changed so much, especially with like the international styles, freestyle and Greco. A lot's changed. A lot, even the way you start in parterre, or referee's position.
Yeah.
Transitioned over to freestyle and Greco is called parterre, and we used to start on all fours, our knees and our hands, kind of spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you drop flat once your opponent touches you. Now they're starting flat on the mat. You know what I mean? And it's almost an advantage for the bottom person. If I have 10 seconds to work, it's tough when my guy's sinking into the mat. You know what I mean? I'm starting here. You know what I mean? I don't have any type of, it's not a race anymore. It's not.
And you truly don't get 10 full seconds, it seems like.
No. It's either way less than 10 seconds or way more than 10 seconds. There's not, but yeah, I mean, that's been tough coaching-wise, just trying to adjust to all the rule changes and the weight class changes and stuff like that. Because when I was going through high school, it was 103, 112, 119, 125, 130, 135, 140, 145, 152, 160, 171, 189, 215 in heavyweight. And now you have, 105, 113, or
it's like
138,
106, 113,
stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Yeah. And I know back when you were wrestling, you guys had a 98-pound weight class, didn't you? It was like 98 to 103 or 98 to 105, something like that. There was a smaller weight before 103.
No, it was 103 when I wrestled. I remember there was a 98, but I can't remember if it was after or before.
Oh, okay.
But when I wrestled, it was 103. That was the first one.
Maybe I'm thinking you're way older than you are.
Yeah, because I look, But what I consider pro level is the Big Ten.
The Big Ten?
Yeah. To me, hands down. It's hard to watch the other ones after you're constantly watching the Big Ten.
Yeah, and I also think that they should be putting out like you always have the Division I NCAA championships on TV on ESPN, right? Or Division I dual meets on ESPN if you can catch them. They should be putting out more D2, D3, JUCO, stuff like that. Show the military. I mean, they got the military nationals, the armed forces nationals that they do. Show that,
yeah,
man.
Show that.
Sure. Like people love the military.
Yeah.
America. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
people would eat that up.
Yes.
So show that type of stuff. Push it more. You're pushing a match here, a match there at 5 a.m. or what? You know what I mean? Like people aren't watching.
Yeah, I mean the Big Ten network is where it's at.
Yeah,
if you have the Big Ten network, you're gonna get
you get everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're pretty consistent, and commentating is really, really good. The way they have like little stories in between matches.
Yeah, they show
really
little
good.
videos and stuff. Those things are cool.
They do a really good job in
I did notice
promoting wrestling.
Yeah, no,
and they make it interesting too.
They really do. They really do. And I noticed they even do stuff of like, they just do stories of like, it doesn't have to be about a top wrestler either. You know what I mean? If there's like a special needs wrestler or like a, a wrestler with a physical disability, so, you know, such as like maybe they only have one leg or one arm or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they really have done a great job over the past at least 2 years.
And flow wrestling's doing a good job too.
Yeah, but
what's your negative on flow?
I think that they could get sponsorships to pay for them to travel to tournaments to film and commentate this stuff and get them money in their pockets if they really wanted to. And instead they're charging their fan base and people who really want to watch these matches and tournaments, and they're charging them to do it. And being a wrestler, you know, from a middle class family and having friends that were middle class to low class, you know, seeing kids now that can't afford certain things. Some people can't afford the extra money to get a membership to Flow or to, you know, to watch these matches and stuff. And you can't even find the stuff on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like these big matches, you can't, like there's kids that I could go off into tangents, man. I really could. I could go off into Jordan Burroughs being, so all these guys are role models, correct? You got Jordan Burroughs. Look what he's done. You know what I mean? Look what he's done as an athlete, as a professional athlete.
Is he the GOAT?
He's the GOAT.
Yes.
So far. I mean, Dake's beat him. Dake goes and win a gold medal, then we have another conversation. He's a GOAT, you know, of this era. You know what I mean? I mean, you have Dan Gables, you have Cal Sanderson, you know what I mean? But, yes, Jordan Burroughs is a GOAT. Yet he's not accessible.
Who's the top three in order?
Top three in order? That's tough, man. That's tough. Kyle Snyder. Won the gold medal while he's still in college at Ohio State. You know what I mean? It's pretty big. Henry Cejudo. Triple C. You know what I mean? Champion in 2 weight classes in the UFC, gold medalist, youngest gold medalist, you know, ever to do it. There's so many, and I don't want to like disrespect anybody by leaving anybody out. I mean, you can't, like I said, Kyle Dake. I can't narrow it down, man. I can't give you a top 3. I can't even give you a top 10, I don't think. I mean, these guys, there's so many. You used to be able to. It used to be always like the standout, you know. Yeah. And now it seemed that there's so many dudes that are like 2-timers, 3-timers, 4-timers. You know what I mean?
Like Cal Sanderson. To go playing
undefeated, undefeated, and
he go undefeated high school and college.
I believe so.
That's
believe
crazy.
so. That's insane. Yeah. My thing was Dan Gable. Okay, so does Dan Gable? Okay, so who
when
takes
I say
it?
hello to Devin?
Huh?
When I say hello to Devin?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Devin.
Hola.
Oh, you're not going through the power. What's up, Devin?
Hello. Dad, I have this very OP, super OP proposition.
What's that proposition?
And if you say no, you're a noob.
And I'll get back with you.
Let's spend the night tonight.
We'll talk later.
It's summer.
Okay, bye.
Super summer.
So it's crazy. Like Devin's done with school
He's done?
as of this past Friday. Sherry's boys, they're done Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, Layla's done on Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Wednesday, yeah.
Sorry, my wife was not very happy right now. was asking me if you wanted me to. She said, I might order noodles. Are you hungry? Should I wait for you or order something? And then she gave me an angry face. You can reply with a yes or a no. Awesome, thanks. I'm on a podcast. I can't have my phone. What was I saying?
Oh, so we were talking about the GOAT, but prior to the GOAT, we were talking about shit. I don't know.
Hey, is it a possibility to maybe pause so I could use the restroom?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was gonna wear an adult diaper today so I could just sit here and not have to get up, but I've been holding it now for a good 30 minutes.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right. So, exposure of wrestling.
Yeah.
Would having movies get us there?
So, I mean, you had Vision Quest, which honestly is like that's a cult classic. I mean, people, not just wrestlers, like people know about that movie.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
that definitely put
Forrest Whitaker was in that movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
that put wrestling on the map for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then you've had little ones here and there. There's actually one called Reversal.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen that. You got to check that out. So in that movie, there's one point where the kid's like just trying to be a teenager and stuff, and his head's not in the game, and his dad's like, that's it, we're going to the barn. And he takes him over to this place, and there's this old guy named Jerry, and he puts the kid through this whole workout, right? Come to find out, the barn is a real place that was ran by this guy named Jerry Seaman. And we were coming back. I forget where we were coming from. It was my dad, my mom, myself, and then a good friend of mine who's like an older brother named Chris. And we swung by. It was like on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. And no one was there. No one was home, but it was real. Like, we got to check it out and stuff. Ended up getting contact with the guy. He invited myself out. I stayed at his house for the week. There were like 3 other kids there. And he had like, so they called it the barn because it's a huge barn, right? And underneath is a big wrestling room. Outside there's another almost like, it's like a long building that's like garages. And he had like the big old metal milk crates, and you were lifting them up on stuff. He had parallel bars that you were, doing handstand, walking on them, and push-ups. And he'd put you through all these workouts. And then you'd go in the wrestling room, and he'd have guys come in, like the coach for West Virginia came one day. Troy Letters from Lehigh came one day. He's the NCAA champion. Josh Koscheck, who was an NCAA champion from Edinburgh and was a UFC fighter.
I remember Josh, yeah.
You remember Josh?
Yeah.
He came like a few weeks prior to him being on the Ultimate Fighter show and was telling us about it and stuff.
Oh, wow.
We got to work privately with these guys. And it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Jerry unfortunately just passed away like last week.
Oh, wow.
I think. I posted this on his page for his family because I was going through the boxes, and I came across this picture of him. Hopefully it pulls up here. I'll show you. But the guy was phenomenal. He's known like throughout the wrestling community, but he was in the movie Reversal. Going back to that, that's him. Jerry, big old cauliflower ears, hard working. You'd wake up in the morning. You want me to get this up here? Show. There we go. Rest in peace to a legend. He'd have you working, doing work around, moving, whatever he needed done around. That was like the payment, you know what I mean, of what you're doing. You wake up early, farm hours, doing stuff, and then he'd put you through workouts throughout the day, and then you'd have wrestling room time with these guys, and it was phenomenal. But yeah, that Reversal was a pretty good movie. I mean, it was low budget, but
Is that a Flow Wrestling production?
no,
No.
this was before Flow.
So what is the best wrestling movie? Probably Vision Quest. You think?
Yeah, hands down, you can't really beat that.
Yeah.
You can't really beat that. I mean, other than the Flow documentaries that they have, I mean, they do really good on their documentaries. But as far as like feature films, yeah, Vision Quest is. I feel like they really captured the sport of wrestling and the work that it takes. You know what I mean? Because you had, what was it, Landon? What was his name? What was the guy's name? Who was training to beat Shoot?
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Landon, I can't remember, but like the work that he had to put in really showed the work that goes into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the struggles of it, the weight cutting, and the issues from weight cutting, and his nose is bleeding or whatever. You know what I mean? And then having those people on the team that don't really believe in you, and then you prove it to them, and then they become your best friends, and like, you know what I mean? It was crazy. It was really, 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 really cool. And it's honestly, it was awesome. Like I said, to see Forrest Whitaker in it, because he's, on the wrestling team. And I remember going back and watching it, and being like, oh my goodness, look who's that is. Look who that is. Like, there were some decent actors in there, you know? And yeah. Now, will that happen again? I don't know, because they've taken it now, and it seems like every wrestling movie they make, it's like, you got the blind wrestler, or you have, instead of like, which is great, but it reminds me of like Lifetime original movies. You know what I mean? You're not going to get a feature film off of something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe, who knows? Down the road, something will come along.
So we talked about your most memorable moments, tournament, match. Do you have any regrets? Anything that comes to mind that you could redo? Like, do you have a redo moment?
Oh, I got a bunch of them. And they still
give me your best one.
They still keep me when I can't sleep at night, and I think about it, that type of stuff. Yeah. Just
is there one you can share with us?
There's a couple. There's obviously the junior year state finals match.
But that one though, you kind of redeem yourself the year after. So
yeah. I just wish I had that match against that kid again, because I would just eat his face off.
Was he a senior?
Yeah, he was a senior. Yeah.
So he kind of
took it and ran away.
Yeah, he ran away with that.
Yeah, but no aspirations to wrestle further either. So it was just kind of like, oh man, college wrestle off. Was I think it was called the red white match or whatever, red gray match.
Yeah, we had the blue and gold.
You know what I mean?
UT chat.
Yeah. So Brandon Kelly, I believe, was a returning All-American or national qualifier. Beat me 3-2. And I was proud of myself because it was the first college match that I wrestled, you know what I mean? And I was happy because of how I wrestled. But I could have won, you know what I mean? Not because it was a wrestler or anything like that. Just shots I didn't take or shots I didn't finish. One more takedown, I would have took a spot, That one, I wrestled at the time. So going through high school, Cesar Rodney High School was the team to beat. Like undefeated for like however many, like ridiculous amount of years. I think 16 years or something like that. Ranked nationally. Our senior year, we're in their house. The news is buzzing. All the news stations, they got a live band playing as their warm up. You know, they're warming up on the mat. There's a live band playing. Stands are full.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty wild, dude. It was an insane, intense night. You know what I mean? Like, they're holding up newspapers, calling, you know, because so I was 171. Alex Mead was 160. That was his weight that he wrestled. Alex Mead was the number one kid in the country at 160, going to Oklahoma State. Everyone knew most likely that was going to be a matchup. They were going to move him up. You know what I mean?
Move him up to go against you?
To 6, to 7, to wrestle me at 171.
Nice.
And at that time, I think I was seated at the Beast at 9. So depending on the rankings, I think I was 13th to 9, you know what I mean? 9 at my weight class. But this kid, I mean, Alex, good friend, won the Beast of the East. Like he was the bee's knees. Grew up wrestling with Jordan Oliver and stuff. Like they're like cousins. So they're holding up signs. Their team's holding up signs like Buddha. That's my nickname because of Budesheim. Buddha doesn't want it, or Buddha scared, and like all this stuff. You know what I mean? They're thinking they're gonna move me around. So we're in the locker room, and they're going through the lineup. You know, it's a chess match. Who they want to put where, what they want to do, who they want to move up, down. You know, whatever. Who they want to take out, whatever. And they get to us. They get to Alex, and I'm sitting there. It's me, my dad. Everybody else is already out. It's me, my dad, and my head coach, and then assistant coach. And they're like, all right, so this is what we're saying. I'm like, no, I'm staying. You know, I'm not going to move up because I think they were talking about like moving me to 89 or something like that, and maybe just giving up the forfeit or putting someone else in at 71 or whatever. So I was like, no, like, let's go. Let's do it. You know, I'm ready for it. I've watched him. I know, you know, I could broke him down. You know what I mean? To at least keep it close. It was their turn. The match comes. It's their turn. 171. He doesn't go out for 160. So we know he's coming to 171. But it's their turn to send him out first. And so his team's lined up. He's at the end of his little tunnel. I'm at the end of my little tunnel. And we look at each other. And we give the head nod. And we run out. And it was like, everybody was like, like, yeah, you know, here it goes. That's one of those matches, man. I think he beat me 4-2. You know what I mean? And it was, I remember coming off the mat a little bit disappointed. But as I'm walking up, you see all the alumni from our team, all our fans and stuff screaming at me, pointing at me like, hell yeah. You know, like, you know, you did, and it was true.
Because you didn't give up any bonus points, or
he's the number one kid in the country, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, and I did what I had to do to keep it
respectable
where it was, and it was a battle. I wasn't backing up the whole time. I wasn't, you know, like I skate. You know what I mean? Like it was. That's what it was a great match.
Yeah,
but if awesome. I could have just hit like a blast double or gotten some quick backs or something like that, it would have been a.
Yeah. So what about something that you regret? Something that you're ashamed? Because like the things you're saying right now, it's not shameful. It's good moments that didn't really go your way. But what about a regretful moment?
You said shameful.
Shameful. Let's go with shameful. Let's go with that. Yes. Something you regret. Something that was
like I used to have a temper. You want to go that route?
Man.
You want to go that route?
Just tell me. Bring it.
So we are, I think it was my junior year. It was either sophomore or junior year. Sitting, wrestling CR again, Cesar Rodney. Sitting on the chairs, wrestling's going on. There's a dad in the stand yelling at Connor McDonald, one of my teammates, another number 1, number 2 in the nation guy. wrestled at Lehigh. He is screaming at him, you know, talking crap to him and all this. And I'm looking at him, and I'm telling him like, hey, like, he's a kid. You know what I mean? We're kids. You're a grown man talking crap to a bunch of kids. You know?
Yeah.
You know, just stop. You know, stop. And he said something along the lines of, "I'm gonna f you up."
To you or
To me.
Oh wow.
It was the last match of the match. I said, all right, just hold on. Match ends, you know, we would do the whole walk by each other, smack each other's hands. I come back around and I run up in the stands and jump on him and start beating him up. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That was pretty shameful. The resource officer of the school's like trying to pull me off.
Oh wow.
All of a sudden I feel this poof on the back of my neck. Is my dad. And like I knew right away. So I was like, I let go. No charges, nothing like that. The dude actually got escorted out because of what happened. You know what I mean? And because I think what really set it off was when we came back, like he pushed Connor or like went like stepped to Connor or something. Connor was 103. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
Yeah. You know, and so that's not something at the time. It was like, hell yeah, it was cool, but it's not cool. You got to keep your head. Throwing my headgear, that happened one time, and my dad took care of that, and that never happened again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that it gets no worse than going to the outside the mats.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that can't happen.
It can't. It can't.
Wow.
And lessons learned. That's
a pretty good one though.
I had a guy.
I'm impressed.
I had a guy that wasn't.
I'm impressed with your misfortune.
I had a guy that wasn't too happy that I went to school with him, and his girlfriend had a little thing for me, and he wasn't too happy about it. So he showed up to one match with her, and he's in the stands, and he's talking his crap the whole time, and I'm just looking up, and I'm like, okay, cool. I go out, knee pick, right to the back, pin this kid in like 15 seconds. Before I even shake the kid's hand, he's still down on the mat. I look up and I point and I blow a kiss at him and her. So he stands up. I shake the kid's hand. I go back. He starts like throwing his hands up. I take my singlet like down, and
You're pumped.
I'm pumped, brother. I'm pumped up. I'm the cream of the crop, sweating, veins popping out. You know, I have my tattoos and stuff. People are like, "Oh my God," you know. And I go up after him, but they separate. It was all separate, but not.
So you were tatted up in high school?
Yeah. So I got my first tattoo. I told my parents I wanted to get a wrestling tattoo. And they were like, "Okay, here's a list. You got to accomplish this, and this, right?
Okay, earn it, get it.
Show us you're serious. Show us this is what you want." Went out and did it. Boom. Signed the waiver. I think I was 14. Or 15.
Holy moly.
14 or 15.
Sherry's going to freak when she hears this.
14 or 15. It was a different time, man. It was a different time. And I got the suplex, you know? One wrestler suplex and the other on my shoulders.
Yeah, the most famous image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that. And then I got...
At 14, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine
it was
that.
Nuts.
Yeah.
It was my life, though. I don't want you to judge my parents for that. My parents aren't.
I'm not going to judge your parents.
You're
right.
They weren't giving me cigarettes and stuff, you know. What I mean?
But you're right though. We're living in different times.
Yeah.
We
But
do.
I got that one, and then I got
like Devin thinks I'm super strict, super, you know, but I think I'm way softer now.
You know what I think? I think you pay the bills.
Well.
And I think you give him a house over his head, and I think that you know what's best for his future because he's just a teenager, and I don't think that you're too strict. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
to tell him no. It's okay to tell your kids no.
It's like this, Brock. The more children you have, the softer you get.
You think so?
Oh, for sure. Like Daniel, my oldest, he got it.
He got it.
Like he got the raw. Fresh out of college, high strong Daniel, and then I'm telling you, the older you get, the more kids you have, that it doesn't. You don't have to be as hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm way softer now, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more laid back.
We'll see.
I'm thankful for that. I'm good. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I embrace it.
I mean, your kids aren't ever. You don't. You want to be. You also don't want your kid to be like, we're friends. You know what I mean? Because like,
it's that balance we talked about.
it is balance. It's a balance between being a best friend and a parent. You know what I mean? I want my daughter to be able to talk to me about whatever she needs to talk to me about. Whenever there's an emergency, whenever she has questions, ask them, all that stuff. But she also needs to know when it's time to, you know what I mean? It's the same as work. You know what I mean? Like you and I are friends, right? It happens a lot in the military, actually. So you and I are on the same level. We have the same position at work. You get bumped up to management, right? We've been friends for such a long time, though, here. You get bumped up to management, and we're still friends, but I take advantage of that. You get what I'm saying? It can't happen.
Yeah.
It can't happen. And that goes for you as the manager, and that goes for me having the respect of the fact that you've moved up, that I need to give you that respect, because if I'm truly your friend, I'm the one that's actually going to set the example for everybody else.
There you go. Exactly right. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same with your kids. I feel like it's just like, they need to know that, yeah, we're best friends. She knows she's my best friend, but she also knows I'm the one that'll put her in her place. Mommy's the one that'll put her in her place. We're not the ones to mess with.
Yes.
But she also knows no one else better mess with her, because we're the ones that are going to show up.
There you go. Yeah. You you nailed it, though. The whole, if you're truly good friends with that person that got promoted,
Yeah.
it is on you to glorify him, to set the example.
Yeah.
Like right now, my boss is my best friend.
Yeah.
And I ensure that I set the tone.
Yeah.
I make sure that, because a lot of people respect me. It's funny. Funny story. So I managed for like 15 years. I changed jobs, and I went to my new place where I was pretty much, I was like everybody's boss at this place at some point. And I had this one time I had this young guy, and he was like, "Man, what do you treat me so good? Why are you so, so you treat us so good?" I was like, "Hey, buddy, one day you're gonna be my boss."
Yeah.
That's what I always preach. Always treat people good.
Yeah.
Regardless of your status, treat everybody good. Respect. Respect is everything. It's funny because like I didn't foresee this. Like I would say that.
Yeah.
Like I truly didn't believe it, but I was like, I always knew it was a possibility, because like in my world, bunch of smart people.
Yeah.
So many smart people, right?
Yeah.
So I changed jobs, and I happened to go into a situation where I was a lot of those, that new place. I was their boss at some point, and it paid off because I respected them, and they, I'm not saying that I got my way where I'm at right now, but what goes around comes around.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. It's the same thing they told us in culinary school. They were like, "This is a small industry. You're gonna run into a lot of people that you're in school with. Don't make enemies. Do not make enemies, because one of these people could be your boss one day.
Yes, sir.
Or one of those people could be the difference from you getting that job and not getting the job. So." They'll edit this out, right?
What's that?
They're gonna edit this out, right?
Nah, I like to go raw.
Me too. No, my wife doesn't like me dipping, so.
Oh, okay. So
Editors, edit, please. I mean, with it in right now, it's cool. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but that's the whole thing is respect, right? We everything that I built whether it's the Iron Knights, the baseball, this podcast, at work, man, is respect and love.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you maintain those two qualities in whatever program or company that you build, respect and love, it's gonna be successful.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I've taken that a lot into what I do. Like, I've with coaching wrestling, with work, and all this stuff. I always told myself, with the restaurant industry, I've done everything. I've been a busser, I've been a server, I've been a cook, I've been a chef, I've been, done dishwashing, all this stuff. That way, when I get to a position of leadership, I'm never going to tell you to do something I haven't done. You know what I mean? And I know what sucks about it and what's great about it and what needs work in that position and everything like that. So I have a better understanding. I can be that boss, what a boss should be. You know what I mean? And the same thing transition to the wrestling room. I practice. I tell the kids, I'm not putting you through anything that I'm not willing to do myself. And now that we're training for this, it's great because they get to see it. They get to see it. We're in there grinding.
So how many days a week are you guys training? Just Friday?
Just Friday.
No, that's wrong.
That is wrong.
That's wrong.
Dude, I wish I want to train more. I just don't know. Like, I drove by Grit yesterday. I think I was going to the dump to drop because we're moving, so we're just getting stuff out of storage that we don't want. And I passed Grit. It was dark inside.
No, but
I was like, man,
yeah,
put the mats in there, call the boys up, get in, roll around, Because I don't work till 5 on Saturday, so that would be.
No, we can go in there. We can go in there this week because you have this week and then next week, right?
I know, yeah.
You have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys need to get in there at least Tuesday, Thursday, and then Friday.
Yeah.
Especially like if Tuesday and Thursday are dedicated for the adults.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll talk after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because it's just.
So
the work needs to be done. So.
Yeah. So this is your first coaching gig, basically.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And you wrestled everywhere, all over the nation, basically.
Yeah.
Or at least you have seen wrestlers from all over the nation.
Yeah. I've been all over.
Where does Tennessee sit?
Okay, so I can't remember if I've had this conversation with you before. It used to be to a point where you go to a tournament, especially like Junior Olympics, and Kentucky would come or Tennessee would come, and you'd be like,
that's a win.
Easy win, and it was, to come here. This is honestly one of the last places when we moved here that I would have that if you asked me a year or two ago, like, I wouldn't even think about it. I didn't think about it when I moved here. I didn't think about wrestling. I didn't think about coaching. I didn't think about like around here, come on. Tennessee's blowing up, man. Tennessee's here, and they're only growing, especially the female program, the ladies, the girls. Man.
But that's blowing up everywhere, though.
Oh, everywhere.
I want to say that it's the fastest growing sport, period.
Oh, no, 100%. I'm saying in the fact of, like, national rankings and stuff, like Tennessee, locally, Clarksville even. I mean, they got, I think Rossview has, top two wrestlers in the nation for girls wrestling, I think, or something like that. Or one of them won Fargo or something like. It's insane. And wrestling as a whole. I mean, look how big the Iron Knights is. Look at these tournaments we go to. It's packed with these teams. Yeah. You know what I mean? These aren't just, and it's not crappy wrestling. These are kids that are doing it, man. They're doing college level wrestling, you know, or they're doing high school level wrestling at a young age. You got us, the Boom Ranch. Those guys are
over in chat.
My God, dude, phenomenal. That kid Cody Chittum.
Yeah, he's the real deal, huh?
Wrestled at Blair, won the Beast.
Yeah, he's
what I mean?
He's the real deal.
Tennessee wrestling's here, man, and I'm
glad you brought him up.
It's coming up.
I didn't think you knew of him. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's probably
really cool, dude. I talked to him at States at the Freestyle Greco States.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Because I congratulated him on the Beast win. I was like, hey, man, congratulations on winning the Beast. I said I'm from Delaware, and we talked about it and all that. And when I wrestled at the Beast and all that. And Really cool kid, man, and just an animal. But his dad puts in the
is.
money and the work for him, man.
His dad has money.
Has
That's
the money for it. Flying in the coaches, having them live there, and but what they're doing over at the Boom Ranch, I mean, that's kind of, if I were to start my own little thing over, in North Carolina or Delaware, it's kind of the route I want to go. With they're chopping wood, they're doing like stuff like. I mean, those kids, you see these kids come in, man, like farm strength. You know what I mean? Farm strength. They got like 10-year-olds walking around with cauliflower ear and stuff, dude. Like what is going on?
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
It's real at that point.
It's real. Yeah. But no, Tennessee, always in my heart. Always in my heart now. I mean, the wrestling culture here is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And everybody's awesome. I mean, even meeting, I've been to a few tournaments, maybe 3 or 4. And the more I go, the more coaches recognize me and come up and say what's up. And like, I'm talking to them.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like it's really, 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 really cool. So very accepting here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to definitely miss you.
I'm going to miss you guys. Yeah. I'm going to miss the hell out of you guys, dude. I think about it all the time. Think about the kids. I think about the kids.
Well, the good news is that we're thinking about launching IK Nation. So
we're not thinking about it.
So
it's a reality.
Yeah, yes, sir.
IK Nation, it's coming.
Yeah, and Virginia Beach. I mentioned that my brother's over there.
Yeah.
So they're on board too. So they're gonna go ahead and they'll sign the fine lines.
There we go.
To ensure it happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So Tennessee. Tennessee's it has come a long way.
Yeah.
I do. I'm a big believer that it has. So what do you think about those states that have multiple state champions?
What do you mean?
Yeah, they have like single A, double A, private school.
So I've always thought it'd be cool if you took the state champions from all those different, AAA, double A's, and then had a tournament, or maybe like the top 6 from each one.
You have to say the top 6 because like the number 3 and maybe like Division X, right?
Yeah,
could probably be the champion of Division Y.
Yeah. So you get the top 6 from all those and put them in together and find the real state champion.
I hate that it's so divided, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got big states, Texas, PA. You know what I mean? Like
now, California has one state champ.
Yep.
There is no division.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
We used to be, when I wrestled, it used to be one state champ.
Yeah.
You got the private schools, everybody, all in one.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. That was nice.
Yeah, I think that I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. That they haven't, because I mean, either if USA put it together, USA Wrestling or something put it together, or maybe got sponsorships to fly those kids out. From like you got the kids from like maybe East PA, West PA. Everybody meets up in like Philly or something, whatever, and gets down.
So, what is the hardest tournament nowadays?
What do you mean in this day and time? Like the hardest high school tournament?
Yes.
I mean, I still think the Beast is there, bro. I think that's the one. I think that they've honestly. I mean, for the most part, I think it's invite only. At least I think that's what it used to be. You had to get a bid to get there for your, because you literally would get. I think at one point I had one kid in the whole tournament. He was in my weight class. He's from New Hampshire, right? And the kid was an animal. I think it was like my sophomore year or something like that. And he texted me. Like I saw New Hampshire and I was like, what? And came out and texted me. So it's like I think you get like bids for it or something to wrestle in it. And it's top.
Isn't that like Fargo where you got to qualify or?
So you don't have to qualify. Well, you did not have to qualify for the Beast. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea. Things have changed so much, but I don't think you have to qualify for the Beast of the East. I think it's just if you get invited or your team gets a bid in or something like that. I mean, you got Blair Academy there. You got Camden Catholic. Great Bridge was like big. I don't know if they still have a good program or not. But there's all the top teams. There's all the top teams in the country wrestling there. And I mean, you got, Frank Molinaro, you had Quentin Wright, these dudes that were national champions, NCAA champions, coming out of that tournament. It's got to be hands down the biggest. I haven't heard of any others. You know what I mean? You have the Walsh Ironman. That's another one. That's another huge one. What else? Yeah, I've been out since I met you guys. I've been out of the game for a long time, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as following wrestling, it wasn't really following high school and stuff. Unless stuff would pop up on Flow, it was
just to make it clear, you've been out for 13 years.
Yeah.
So
when the story of how I walked away was kind of disappointing, but it was left college. I always wanted to join the military. There was these two twin brothers from back home that were Navy SEALs, and they wrestled for Penn State. Kind of wanted to follow in their footsteps. I always wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and I wanted to wrestle in college, and the military was always there. So I left college. We had a friend of the family wrestled at our high school. He was an alumni. He was in the Marine Corps as a recruiter, wrestled for the Marine Corps team. Hey, you want to join the Marine Corps? This is what I do. I was like, yeah, 100%, definitely. So, and they were doing a little recruiting when I was in high school. They came in and were interested in me signing so I could wrestle for them. So it was already, the wheels were rolling. I was like, hell yeah. I go, we're picking out my job, like my MLS, and I was like, I don't care what I do. Like, it doesn't matter because I'm going to go wrestle. Yeah. He's like, oh, well, I'm a cook. Be a cook. You have lots of hours. You'll have lots of free time to go and train and do this and that. It's really open MLS. So I was like, whatever, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as I get in and I go, I'm cool. So sign the contract. I go. I get through all my training. I end up getting my orders for Okinawa, Japan. That was a shock because I was hoping to go to Camp Lejeune, where the Marine Corps team was based out of. And so I go to Japan. As soon as I get to Japan, I go to my gunnery sergeant. I'm like, I want to put a package in to go try out for the Marine Corps wrestling team. And he's like, oh, well, needs of the Marine Corps, if you have time, if we're not shorthanded or we don't need you or something, then yeah, we'll go ahead and put the package in. Time never came. And as time dragged on, I just saw saw it fade away right off in the distance. So kind of stepped away and obviously followed the sport a little bit. I'd watch the NCAA championships and I'd watch kids that I wrestled with or I competed against and either beat or had close matches with, and they're becoming NCAA All-Americans, winning NCAA championships, going to the Olympic trials, making the Olympic team.
That's right.
Coaching at big schools, doing this and that, and it's the way life works sometimes, man. Cards aren't always in your favor, and that's okay. But I'm extremely grateful and happy to be able to find my way back home, and back into the sport, and because man, throughout the years, it just eat me up. You know what I mean? It was eating me up. I had all this knowledge. I had all the, I know the sport. I eat. I ate it. I breathed it.
Yeah,
I dreamt about it.
If you truly want to get deep in it, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing you might want to. Man, be an assistant to one of those guys that you competed against or competed with, wherever they're at. Because you start as an assistant.
Well, yeah,
like in 5 years or so. It just, but you have a family now, so it's a little harder.
I love the clubs, dude. I I was such a big off-season wrestler. I was so into it, and I'm such a believer in off-season wrestling and club wrestling and getting the exposure and getting your kids out there with different partners, away from their teams, away from their high school coaches, away from these guys that are just taking jobs because they're not qualified, but they want the paycheck.
That's a learning moment right there.
Because they want the paycheck, and maybe they wrestled JV for 2 years or something in high school, but they quit because they didn't have, the kahunas to really put in the work and be great at the sport, and they know a little bit about it, and that's why your kid is having so much trouble and creating bad habits, and then they come to our club and we have to fix it, and we have to spend time on them to fix the problems because they're not getting the correct coaching at the school that they're at. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You see it, and it's unfortunate, but do I ever want to be a part of it? I don't ever see myself other than moving home and coaching at the high school that I went to. Maybe. Other than that, I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of politics and what I love to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like giving somebody else, you've been through there, having somebody else kind of hovering over and looking over what you're doing, making sure, everything is PC and everything is good and everything is good to go and parents are, no. If you want your kid to be a champion and you want your kid, to get the work in, I'm here. But I'm not, I have no interest in being a high school coach, a middle school coach, a college coach, nothing like that. I'll leave that to those guys and let them do that. Okay. And then, if the parents are seeing that it's not working out, send them over to my club and I'll get them right.
Yeah.
And that's all. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. So, wrestling. Love, hate, right? So, in your opinion, right, regardless if you're 13 years out or in whatever,
Yeah.
what is the toughest wrestling state?
Delaware.
Delaware?
I'm joking. No, but we are a diamond in the rough. And
Delaware love.
do not. I'm always gonna show love. I mean, we got some hammers. Okay, now, no, toughest toughest Delaware, good. Toughest. I'll give top 3 to no specific order because it goes back and forth. PA, Jersey, Ohio. Those were the hitters growing up. Now, throw Iowa in the mix. Throw the Midwest in the mix. Throw Kansas in the mix. Throw Oklahoma in the mix.
See, I have the same top 3 as you do.
You know what I mean? So
I would have said Ohio, Pennsylvania, and I don't know if I would have thrown New Jersey in there, but New Jersey is definitely top 5.
Yeah.
But again, I have been away from high school wrestling since the 90s.
And that's the same with me. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, because you got all these states coming out of the woodwork.
But I would have went with Ohio number 1, Pennsylvania number 2, and man, I love the California. Is so darn big, man.
Yeah.
But Jersey for sure is fucking grit, rough,
dirty.
You have to respect Jersey.
I've thrown some hands with some Jersey boys before. They like to get a little dirty.
See, I don't know. Like during my time, I used to, like high school nationals was the toughest tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The top 2. Every finalist would go there. Only the finalists.
Yeah.
Only. And you wrestle in these tournaments and you would swap out singlets,
Yeah.
So, I have a Jersey singlet that it's one of my toughest match.
Where's it at?
It's somewhere in my room somewhere. In my
what size is it?
Oh, you need it. Yes, sir.
I need a singlet.
Yeah, I wrestle 142.
Okay.
So yeah, I have to go. I have to dig it out. I have UTC wrestler singlets as well. I have to.
Oh,
I must find.
I need some. I need some throwback,
yeah.
something tasty. Because I gave all my singlets to Mason, but I mean they were.
That's true. You need a singlet, huh? Sheesh.
Yeah, I need a singlet. Yeah, I need a singlet.
But I was small. You see, like you wrestle 171. I wrestle like way down there.
Yeah. Well, I started at. Man, I didn't shoot up till so I got held back in 8th grade. I got mono for 3 months, and my parents just decided to be better. You know, we decided as a family it'd be better just to hold me back.
That's good. You guys decide stuff as a family.
Yeah, I mean, with that type of decision, that's really going to affect your child. So I think that they should have a say in that. You know what I mean? I think it's a great move too. If you have the option to do it, I think it's a great move. Get another year in. Get another year under your belt before you go up to the big boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I weighed like 82 pounds, 86 pounds.
Damn.
And then my second 8th grade year, I wasn't eligible to wrestle for the school team because it was the second 8th grade year, you know. I already wrestled my eligible years. I shot up to 133, then got to high school. I was 140, 160, 171, 171. So I grew. I was in the weight room every day. Before school opened, taking showers in the locker room while everybody's riding the bus to school.
Nice. Your dad get you there, or
Yeah.
See, I mean, your dad was a key factor for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I really do. I owe my success in the sport of wrestling to him. 100%. 100%. Yes, I had to be willing to do the work, but there was a lot of times where I didn't have a choice.
Saying that's how a thing.
But 100% to him, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I was very fortunate to have parents that gave a crap. You know.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I could say is that
that's huge.
They always wanted to put me in the best possible positions and scenarios to better myself, you know, as a person and as an athlete. So
good.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
So are they still in Delaware?
My mom lives in Florida now.
Okay.
My dad's still in Delaware. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into some tips for the parents.
All right.
Well, what are your typical mistakes that parents make to hinder their wrestlers' success?
We talked about it. Nutrition. Big thing. Okay. And I know it's tough as a parent trying to keep track of what your kids eating all the time and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be all the time, okay? But if they're getting ready to practice,
you buy it. You buy it.
You do buy it. But the kids are going to eat crap when they go to birthday parties. They're going to eat crap when they go to school. They're going to eat crap when they, you know, and that's okay. You know, they're kids. Let them be kids. But when it's time to compete and stuff, or getting ready for practice, or doing a camp or something, make sure they're well prepared. You know, rest. You know, limit the YouTube, limit the tablet time, limit the phone time. You know, I had this talk with the kids last camp, and I was telling them, you know, every day, everything you do, if you want to be successful, you know, in anything, but we're talking about wrestling, right? So if you want to be successful in wrestling and you want to succeed and you want to be a champion, you know, everything you do throughout the day, you need to ask yourself, is this helping me? Is this helping me get to the goal that I'm trying to achieve? You get what I'm saying? So, you know, if I'm on my tablet, right, and I'm playing my Roblox or my Minecraft or watching YouTube, you know, maybe watch one of your goofy YouTube videos and then watch a wrestling video. Watch some technique, you know? Or while you got your tablet in the hand in between games, if you lose, do 20 push-ups. You lose again, do 40 push-ups. You know, challenge yourself. Everything you do. when you wake up in the morning, you go to brush your teeth, you know, that time you got before mom or dad puts you on the bus or anything, run to the bus stop.
That's,
You know what I
that's
mean?
almost like the Bruce Lee concept.
Run home.
Like Bruce Lee, everything was training. Going to work was, you know.
You're preparing yourself. You're preparing yourself for life, to be successful in life. You're preparing yourself to be a successful wrestler, you know? So why not? Why not? If I want to win, because no one's doing it, you know? Very few are putting in that work. Be one of the few, you know what I mean? Like it's just every little thing, you know what I mean? Walking up the stairs. Say this was like the entertainment room, right? You got the couch, video games on, whatever, projector screen, you're playing video games, time to go to bed. Bear crawl up the stairs, lunge up the stairs. Little tiny things just to make yourself better, to achieve that goal. This is going to help me. Other guys are just walking up the stairs slow. I'm lunging up the stairs. You know what I mean? Yeah. It sounds stupid sometimes. It sounds like...
It adds up, though.
But it does. It does. It really does, the little things, man. And that's what... Just like in the technique that I show, and when we drill and stuff, and in matches, and I tell the kid, I'm like, it's the little tiny adjustments, man. It's the little movements of your hips. It's the lock that you have. It's, you know, how you know what I mean? The little things you do with your head, you know, your hands, every placement, every footstep, everything like that. It's the little things, man. It really is. It's the little things that make a difference. So it's we go out of bounds and I'm running back to the center, you know, in double or triple overtime after wrestling 10 matches in the day. And I'm running back to the center and your opponent looks at you like, what the heck is going on? It used to be, I'd wrestle a match, dual meets, right? I'd wrestle a match. It didn't matter if it went into overtime. It didn't matter if it went in all 3 periods. It didn't matter if I pinned the kid in 30 seconds. It didn't matter if I lost. I was coming off the mat, I was putting my stuff back on, and I had a jump rope. And all you heard while the match was going on was tick, 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 tick. Guess what that's doing? Everybody has ADD. They're looking over to see what the hell is going on. And the word's getting out. No, wait, this kid just wrestled, and he's back there working out. You know what I mean? Mind games.
I like that.
Mind games.
I like that.
Mind games. It's little things. I used to run across, you know, when they line you up on the mat and they're calling you like at 103, you know, Daniel Otero versus Brock Budesheim. You guys run out to the center of the mat and shake hands?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm running across the mat and I'm meeting you on your side.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm getting in your head.
That's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little things. Little things.
Oh, wow.
Little things. Little things, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I want these boys listening to this, I want them to do that. And that's going to be expected.
Let them know you're ready. let them know that there's not a doubt in your mind that you're ready to go. You know? Because they're nervous. Everybody's nervous. You're nervous. Running over to shake their hands, you're nervous. But they don't know that. Because you just stepped in their area, in their bubble.
In their bubble, yeah.
In their bubble. In their personal space.
That's beautiful.
You know what I mean? In front of their home crowd.
Yeah. Wow.
Mind games, dude. Games within the games.
Yes, sir. Like it.
Let me take a drink out of my games within the games glass.
There you go. Hey, so pretty new to the coaching world.
Yes, sir.
This is a statement that you'll hear down the road, either down the road at some point. You know, having a family at home, having your own thing, and in some cases, you might not have a child or a loved one doing the sport that you're coaching.
Yeah.
And why do you coach?
Why do I coach?
Why will you coach? Why will you leave your family behind and be gone all day long, Saturday, your entire weekends? Because, a lot of times it's the tournament.
Every tournament.
And then
every
the Sundays you got like duels and things like that.
Yeah.
So, why would you coach and just constantly leave your family behind?
That's a very good question. And and it has been actually a struggle. It's been a struggle at home trying to. My wife knows how much wrestling means to me, but she doesn't understand like the sport or how you could be so dedicated and in love and passionate about doing the sport, I think. And so it's taken a little bit, and it's still, I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to hear about it tonight for sure, 100%. But we'll get through it.
Do you think she'll listen to this? Probably not. It's probably not her cup of tea.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
but it's you know, I'm asking.
Yeah.
As preparation, because
Yeah.
I mean it's real. You know, why do you coach? Do you coach for yourself, or do you coach for the athletes?
No, there's nothing. I do this because I absolutely love this sport. Like so much. So like in love with it. And I know that I have the tools and the talent that was gifted to me to make others successful and make other wrestlers successful, make the kids successful. And wrestling has given me so much in my life, even now as an adult, before I started coaching, in certain aspects of my life. You know what I mean? And it would be a slap in the face to the sport and to myself if I didn't give back. Does that make sense? Like I love being like, the greatest feeling I've had so far in coaching is showing a technique and going to these tournaments and seeing these kids that were having issues, weren't winning, or weren't scoring, and they score or they win using something I showed them. You know what I mean? Like, coming in full circle, it makes me emotional. You know what I mean? Like it's man, it's something that you can't explain, and it's something that I try to explain to my wife, and unless you do it, unless you've been there, unless you'll never get it. You'll never get it, and that's okay. Yeah. But I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's a spirit. It's cheesy. It's spiritual. You know what I mean? Like it's something inside my soul that's just like, all the crap that has happened in my life, positive and negative, and the downfalls and everything like that, has led me to this point. There was a reason that Shane and Colton were supposed to sit at that table.
Oh my God, yes.
And there was a reason I was supposed to be working that night, and there was a reason I was supposed to serve them. And look, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? There was a reason. I needed a change in my life. Something to help me, because I have a daughter, I have a wife, I have a family. I haven't always done what I needed to do. You know what I mean? Maybe I've made some excuses. Maybe I've quit when stuff has gotten hard, and which was even harder on me with the depression and stuff, because I never used to be that way. So trying to figure out why, and then this came into my life, and it was like, time to wake up, time to change, time to get it going. You know what I mean? And as unfortunate as it being, it took this much time to get there, but I needed this, just as much as the sport needs me, I need it still. 32 years old, 13 years away from it. And it It clawed me back. You know, something in the universe brought it back. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. And it's not that it was just like, dude, I met other people, you know, Mike Shires went and worked over at Wildside and stuff. Just the vibe wasn't there. Something in my inside was just like, I don't know. It just wasn't right. I showed up to your practice the first time. I was like, I'm showing up. I'm back. I'm here. I'm coming back the next practice. I'm coming back the next practice. I'm coming back the next practice. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, and I got more and more and more and more to give. And I feel like this is just the tiny, 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 tiny part of the beginning of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm stoked, dude. I'm extremely excited, you know, and I'm excited about this tournament on June 4th and that my wife's gonna come bring my daughter so she'll get to see what's going on.
That's beautiful.
And, you know what I mean?
That's
and she could see, because I feel like she's like I don't know, like if you really know what you're doing, or you know what I mean? 'Cause she's only heard stories, or she's seen the medals or the trophies in the box and stuff, and she'll actually get to see what wrestling is. You know what I mean? And the family aspect of it too, which would be really cool, because I know 100% how accepting and loving you guys and the Iron Knights family has been for me. I know that just extends out to her.
Yes.
And so when she feels that, because she's extremely introvert, so she's gonna be like, what? Like, this is, and I'm hoping she gets to see, like, this is what it means to me. I'll talk to you about something off air. Yeah. That happened with one of the kids. I got a phone call yesterday, so she kind of got to hear a little bit of it.
Okay.
But to see how much I mean to these kids, and to show them how much that love's reciprocated, you know what I mean? Like, it goes back and forth. Man, it's
a game changer.
It is a game changer. It's a game changer, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking at the same time. You know what I mean? Because these kids just see guys come and go and come and go and come and go and come and go. You know, they see their friends come and go. It's a military town. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's unfortunate, dude. It's super unfortunate. You know, and I wish it wasn't that way. But that's life. And
is there a way you can deliver that message very delicately, where you're not revealing names, or it's too difficult?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just it's tough. It's tough for a few of them that I'm heading out, because I think we got to the point where we have this relationship now. You know, like Colton had such a strong relationship, still does, with these kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And but I'll be back.
Good.
I'll be back.
For sure.
I'll be back. I can't just up and leave and never never show my face again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and plus IK Nation.
Yes, sir.
So.
Yes, sir. We're going to definitely work it, and I think the blacksmith series of camps could be a yearly thing. Yeah, where we can have you back, and so we'll get creative to ensure that this connection that we have made, it stays strong.
It's a good relationship
and everlasting.
Yeah, it's a good relationship, and those are rare. You know. At times, so it's good to hold on to that. You know what I mean?
So, like, I'm super thankful. I said this at the very beginning of the podcast. Super thankful for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Thankful that you have reconnected with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Thankful that if you were suffering, depression or whatever it might have been, I'm thankful that wrestling provided that fix, that healing process for you.
Yeah.
Wrestling we talked about how beautiful it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain sports like swimming is is baseball. Is baseball going to save your life at some point?
Me personally, or just anybody?
Just overall.
Well, I don't know. I think
in general, is baseball going to bring some sort of skills for you to provide a survivor factor? No, I'm going to answer that for you. No. Swimming, you learn how to swim, you're going to be in a situation where you got to swim and survive.
Yep.
Wrestling is one of those things, one of those sports that will provide a survivor factor.
Yeah.
Of survival.
Definitely.
And, you know, and it's not through like, you know, making that reconnection, but it's like, hey, you guys, you might get in a situation where you have to like stand up for your family.
Yeah.
Or undo a situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So,
been there plenty of times.
So, you know, wrestling serves as, it's not only beautiful in itself just as a sport, but, you know, it provides you that survival skills.
Yeah. Skill
set to save somebody, defuse a situation. And, you know, so wrestling it needs to be carried through, whether it's mainstream or not. There's a place for wrestling in this world.
Oh, 100%.
And people like us, you know, it's our job to be the ambassador of wrestling.
Yeah.
And spread the love.
Yep.
So I'm super thankful. I said at the beginning of the podcast, and I want to end it with that.
I know.
I'm extremely thankful. So
and like I said, I couldn't be more grateful for everything that you've done, that Shane has done, for me, you know, and the whole Iron Knights, you know, group and family and the kids and the parents and all the other coaches, you know, Sean, just amazing. You know what I mean? Like the dedication that you guys have for these kids in the sport is bar none. You know what I mean? You try to put them in the best positions with the best possible people, you know, and you put me in the room, see how you know, to see how I could handle it, you know, threw me in the lion's den. And I love the fact that you guys just let me off the leash, you know, and let me take control a little bit of the practices and show the kids these techniques. And the great thing is that I mean, you're a witness to it. It's working.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah,
it's working. And I couldn't thank you enough for giving me an outlet to be able to do that with and to get me out of that slump. You know, that for years and years and years and years and years I've been going through. You know what I mean? And I think that was just like an emptiness. It was a void. Something was missing. You know? I had the family, you know what I mean? And it's a different thing though. You know what I mean? Like there's always gonna be that love there. There's always gonna be that care there, and that I would do anything for my family. Anything, you know, but personally, you know, mentally and stuff like that, there was a void missing, you know, and you guys filled it, dude. You did, it's made things better, you know, and like such a large difference now, you know what I mean?
Good.
You know, like. In everything, you know, it's just it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love you all from the bottom of my heart,
man.
For real,
man. And that's beautiful. And this is that is exactly what we're all about. It's a lifelong family. IK Nation is real.
Yeah.
And what I always preach is pass it down to the next person, because you're gonna. It's all about recognition. We talk about recognition at practice. It's recognition in life. You're going to walk this earth and you're going to recognize somebody similar to you that need it.
Yeah.
And it's our duty to pass it down constantly. We're going to spread the love. and we're gonna always share what we have, the goodness, because it's beautiful, right? We talked about it, and it's recognition, and it's your duty to pass it down to the next person, and let them know that it's their duty to do so. Yeah. And before you know it, man, it's we are in a better world. Yeah, we'll walk this earth in a better situation. Yeah, for everybody.
My main goal is to just leave. I just want to leave such a positive impact on these kids. You know what I mean? You know, I want to be a good role model to them. I want them to take what I give them and be successful in life and in wrestling, and you know, just think about stuff before they do it. And be like, what would Coach Brock do? What would Coach Brock tell me to do? What, would Coach Brock smoke me right now? If I did this, you know what I mean? And just take it for everything. Take everything from me. You know what I mean? Take it all. And run with it. Yeah. So.
And it's a small world, lifelong, right? We talk about lifelong. Yep. Forever. Let it live, and there's gonna be a connection.
Yeah. 100%.
We can't let it die.
No, never.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it. Love you, dude. Thanks.
Stay tuned, guys. Peace.